Did you guys hear about second edition coming out?
I was just about to mention second edition.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just caught it just moments ago. Yes, indeed. Modiphius have actually shown off some of it at Gen Con. So.
Oh wow! Awesome.
They are all set to and they've also got a starter set that they'll be releasing in the autumn or fall, as you guys say.
Okay.
So yeah, very interesting times. Star Trek Second Edition will be coming out soon. Phase 2. Apparently, they're still keeping the 2D20 system. They want it to still be backwards compatible with stuff they've already released, which is nice, because I've got a hell of a lot of books.
It's almost like they care for their...
yeah, and this has been going since 2017, and they keep releasing stuff for it. So, yeah. Credit where credit's due, guys. Credit where credit's due. I had no idea that the Captain's Log solo sold so well. Apparently, it sold.
I tried that.
Monkey nuts.
You guys tried that?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is interesting.
It's a neat little. I do like random generators for things. They make things very interesting, and having your own solo adventure depend entirely on some random rolls can be a bit weird at times, depending on what it gives to you. But then you have to try and figure out, what it is in the context of where you are and what you're doing, and it can be kind of a fun exercise. But that's not what we're doing today. This is definitely not solo play. This is my group of guys.
Wait, what? You guys are real?
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, Mike, but if we are indeed just voices in your head, then I'm very sorry.
He's just talking to a bedside table.
Hey, that's yours. That's you. You can't pass that on to anyone else.
No,
I am Lamp.
Mine wasn't the table.
I am Lamp. I am.
Well,
Lamp.
before we get too far down this particular whatever the hell we're going down with this conversation, I am just going to quickly turn off the intro music. I neglected to turn on the ship rumble, so I won't need to turn that off. Oh yes, I did actually, just failed to fire. Interesting. And I will divert everybody ever so briefly to our intro video, and we will see you back here in a couple of moments. So stay tuned, folks. Hello everybody, and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Navis. I am MJ the GM, and I shall be your games master for this session, and with me are the majority of the Navis crew, with the exception of our first officer. He will be along as soon as he can, I am led to believe.
As soon as he finds his way out of the port nacelle.
Yes.
There's only one way out of the port nacelle, and that's embracing the madness.
Never seen again.
He was eaten by a brew.
Never seen.
Well, you did see him again, he just wasn't the same. He had that 1,000-yard stare going on.
You weren't there, man. You weren't there.
I mentioned nacelle and he twitches.
So, yep, for those who just heard us talking about it, here it is in, well, digital print. Modiphius will publish a second edition of award-winning Star Trek role-playing game Star Trek Adventures. So I suppose the question is, will I get it? Our bear's Catholic.
Of course. I'll be getting
exactly.
it.
Bear's a
I
Catholic.
was going to say,
You heard it
if not,
here.
then what are we paying you for?
Definitely looking forward to that, because apparently they're taking folks' comments over the years into account. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with this. After
Well, it said streamlined.
I think what I'm looking forward to more than the version 2 initial source book is the version 2 extension based around Claude, which I assume is coming.
well, that's under the Solo Adventures, the Solo Adventures rulebook, Claude edition.
Yeah, it simply says Claude's Adventure. Claude presses a button. The end.
The Claude supplement.
So, yes. So, where are we in Star Trek Space and Time? Well, first things first, let's see how many folks are here. Maybe Sean, Yang, Gareth, Alex, everybody signed in? Looks like...
no.
Mike, I don't have you at the moment. That's it. I thought the numbers were a bit low.
Oh, God.
Mind. And everybody who wants to listen to Sirenscape got Sirenscape playing. I take the silence as an affirmative. Or I'll just quickly check now without telling Matt that I forgot. Yeah, that's cool. While folks are sorting out their individual selves, let's do a quick recap of where we find ourselves this session. The Navis and their Klingon sister ship, the MupwI, have been sent on an escort mission to basically deliver supplies, escorting a convoy of supply ships to... what was the name of the place again? The station is Array 3-5, which is further into the Shackleton Expanse. It's another joint Federation Klingon science station that needs to be resupplied. And so the MupwI and the Navis are guarding a convoy moving through the Expanse to resupply that very array. And of course, we've run into some problems. Mostly in regards to the ambient electromagnetic interference in the area from pockets of such disruption. But hiding amidst some of those pockets apparently were a bunch of pirates. Green people.
Wannabe pirates. We're not even...
So, yes, let's... whoops-a-daisy, I was about to click on something. Claude solves problems the old-fashioned way with a button. Yes. Button pushing.
Push button.
So it just
explode.
bears reminding that not all of the crew are on the Navis. Some are spread out since the electromagnetic interference, or whatever it was, damaged the MupwI and one of the convoy ships. So the folks currently over on the MupwI are Lieutenant Stevens, Lieutenant Ori, Unit Hello, and Lieutenant Nova. If I remember correctly, Captain Akul, leader of the MupwI, was actually very, very impressed with Unit Hello and wants one, if not more than one. So,
and currently
Nova
has it linked to his ship.
Yes, so we're already stress testing the unit. What's the name of his poor engineer? Keth! Engineer Keth is being threatened with being out of a job.
The machines coming in, taking our engineers.
So, yes, let's hope Captain Akul means it in a light-hearted way. For some reason we have Lieutenant Bravo of Stellar Cartography here on the bridge, next to...
He's taken up his position, didn't he?
I thought that was Ensign Kirst.
So I think it's probably because
he was helping out with something, wasn't he?
Yeah, we went out in the Samson to do some surveying.
That was it! You'd gone on the Samson. But the Samson is now back, so let's move Bravo back to a science station.
Oh, the Bravo that we can never remember has now gone away again.
Let's move him back with, actually, back to the science labs. Back to the labs with you, where you belong. And on the lead convoy vessel... Yeah. On the lead convoy vessel was Commander Vibers, along with Lieutenant Edwards, Lieutenant Latude, and Commander Bravo, Chief of Security. So the crew have pretty much been scattered throughout this flotilla. And, as I have noted, we are under attack. So let us remind ourselves of what the conditions were. So, having taken the recommendation of my fellows here as to maybe toning down the amount of memory this uses up by reducing the amount of animated items on screen. As such, these dark cloud formations here are supposed to be the electromagnetic eddies present in the area. They usually crackle and lightning flash, but for purposes of saving on memory, we will keep them paused as they are. But nevertheless, we have electromagnetic eddies set up which are going to be causing interference to anything that requires sensors. We've got the Navis, who has so far delivered quite a stern telling off to at least one of the 6 Klingon birds of prey that were advancing on their position. They have also, if I recall, set up a kind of a trap using the cargo haulers, so that if the cargo haulers get approached by any enemy ships, it triggers a response from the sound weapon, which has been tuned to Orions, so that any Orion crew members aboard a ship trying to get too close to the flotilla of cargo ships will get assaulted with a sound-based weapon designed to basically stun them. And that's pretty much where we are. We've been getting taunts from so-called Empress Lolani-Taan, whom the Navis crew have met once before, but now she's come back claiming she's an Empress. Who knows what that's about? Nevertheless, initially they came out with scrambling the Navis and her fellows' comms, and they've come in with a bit of a surprise attack, but the comms situation has since been solved by the good thinking of Nova and others. Their systems were compromised by...
As me?
Beg your pardon. It was...
Yeah, I used the web.
Of course you
bouncing
did.
across.
It was a group effort.
It was me. It wasn't just you. You know, there were other bits that were done on the other vessels as well.
Nasty.
But credit where credit was due.
All right,
the idea
Joe.
for the enemy comms was both Nova and Edwards' whatever, and the sound gun was actually quite an ingenious idea by Vibers and at least one other. So lots of good ideas roaming around. So the enemy comm scramble was turned against them. There's been some interesting ways of getting around the fact that the Navis and the MupwI have had their computer systems infiltrated. So that's been taken care of for the moment. So, do folks have any comments, concerns, or questions they wish to pose now before we get started back with where we left off in earnest? Have I forgotten anything that I need reminding of? Or do you think there's something you've forgotten that you need reminding of? Speak now, for we shall soon be diving straight back into the fight. But I think I covered everything. Okay, I will take the silence as an affirmative. Alright then. So, lots of folks have had their go, and managing to do everything from solving problems, creating advantages, hence why there's that easier to hit enemy advantage still there, because you made 2 of them. Nova created a double comms scramble for the enemy, so that should make things difficult for them. Alright, so next up, we're going to start with, after I change the ambience to battle amongst the stars. So, back on the MupwI, with everything going on and the red alert status being raised, Captain Akul is keen to get in on the fight. And so, Captain Akul's first officer... Let's go onto the MupwI bridge, actually, while we're here. So Chief Engineer Keth goes back to his station as the alert sounds, letting everybody know that battle is going on at the moment. And so Captain Akul asks for a situation report. His operations officer Tronum informs the captain that the USS Navis is going head-on with a cluster of 6 Klingon birds of prey. So Captain Akul states, "Very well, Helm, bring us about. I want to take on those raiders that think they can dare ambush us." So the Helm officer brings the MupwI about, and as they start coming on, they take you quickly back to the situation in space. Hate to jump between so many maps so quickly, but what Captain Akul is talking about is this grouping of 3 Orion raiders coming up on the flotilla of supply cargo ships. So the MupwI starts to come about to try and intercept them. Initiating taunt. Lolani-Taan is an Empress now, hanging out with pirate scum. Makes sense. If I had to spend my days with Orions, I'd want to spend my nights with a better class of people too. This unit of yours has sass, Lieutenant Nova. I like it. I want that package on it as well when I order one.
Order one.
All the bells and whistles, Lieutenant Nova. Spare no functionality.
You've already got a customer for your new website, Novamazon.
Oh god, it's a new talking, moving Siri.
But as the
These are
hey, hello, Dennis.
It's got extra sass mode. Weaponized sass.
Andrew's is going to have to have a very long chat with a call as we get back to Space Dock. Like,
You might not get a word in with the amount of keen Akul has for this, but you will see how it goes later.
I will get a newspaper and I will bop him on the nose.
That's surely.
And that's what we call diplomacy.
Right, so as the MupwI brings itself around and engages its wings in battle mode, let's say, the MupwI's operations officer once again brings up an alert as you actually hear it sound. But, Captain, we have incoming ships! Decloaking off of our starboard... Pardon me. Port bow! I don't know starboard from port, excuse me.
Port left, starboard right.
I keep forgetting. Nevertheless...
Seeing the Klingons off the starboard bow, but oh well.
It's hard to tell the difference when you've had too much ports.
Captain, 5 Kook-class destroyers on an intercept course. So, Captain Akul has to make a decision. 5 Kook-class destroyers or 3 Orion raiders? Which do you think he should go for?
Orions.
The Orions?
Yeah, he's committed to the attack, bro.
Alrighty, so...
Plus, she taunted us, so, you know.
That's it. You've got to keep your honour.
I know, shouldn't our priority be defending the freighters because they can't defend themselves very well?
That's what we are doing by attacking everything, attacking the freighters.
It depends who the Kook-class destroyers are aligned to, I suppose.
As I say, if we blow up the freighters, then it's their own problem, you know. Then we can just tell Starfleet, well, it was the pirates, you know, and we're in the clear.
I was going to say the Klingons will probably stick around and fight rather than the raiders will take what they want and then go.
So final decision, they're going to try and engage the raiders because they want to take on Lolani-Taan herself?
Yeah, I'd say that.
She taunts us, she infiltrates our systems, and she gives us insult? No! We are going straight at those raiders! Helm, full attack! Weapons to full! Keth, I want weapons to full, damn it! They are already at full, Captain. Then make them fuller! Yes, Captain.
Poor Ken.
Turn it to 11.
Go out and start strapping batlets to the wings.
Right, so let's move these guys here. As the MupwI tries to close the distance. The distance is still technically medium distance, so the MupwI, in move the characters who are currently on the MupwI to a better position. The MupwI goes in for an attack run and therefore opens up with... right, they can't use its disruptor cannons, which are the cannons placed on the wings, because that's close range. The most it can move is into medium range. But as a result of being a Cavort class attack cruiser, it has disruptor arrays it can use, which are slightly more powerful, actually a good deal more powerful than their photon torpedo launcher, so they're going to opt to use disruptor arrays. As such, let's go for the MupwI. The medium, that's gonna hit for a 15, so he goes for the closest raider. 50 minus 3 is 12, which means shields gone in an instant. Wait a minute, what are you complaining about? So, like I said, what was it? Oh, I lost my thread. It complained about something. The number was 15. 15 minus 3 is 12. So that's 8. That's all its shields gone in one go, with damage left over. Excuse me, math's not my strong suit. 12. Which was 4 left over, which is more than that one's got, so that is an entire... One destroyed raider. Shields down, power down, breach. Akul smashes the arm of his chair with his fist. Ha! Take that! Remind me to send you outside and put an Orion stamp as a kill tally. So, that's
No problem.
these guys. So that's all of you having acted. Now, there's some who haven't acted, I know, but for the moment, Ori, Nova, and Stevens are pretty much at this moment just looking on as the situation develops. You may yet have a chance to act, but you guys at the moment are available just like, unless there's somebody who wants to do something now. Sean?
And Nova's acted. Nova scrambled comms.
Yes, of course she did. Unit Hello is a bit busy at this moment, being the main computer. Andrews to Commander Keth, fancy a role in Navis. Well, exchange programs are a go on Narendra Station, but nevertheless, let us move to First thing that's going to happen is the remaining Orion Raiders actually peel off and start heading towards coming about on the cargo flotilla, whereas the Kook destroyers actually home in on the MupwI.
Are they close enough to trigger the prepared defense?
Yes, indeed. So the Orions... Actually, no, pardon me. They're staying at medium range because the sound requires close range. So the Orion Raiders will have to come in close in order to let that happen. So the Raiders are just going to... Now, there's only 2 of them left now, which changes things a little. Which means they are down to 7. 7 on one of these guys is a 4 and a 5. Okay, so the 2 raiders open up on one of the freighters, manage to take down the shields to about 50% of what it was. So far haven't done a tremendous amount of damage, are just hanging back and harrying it. Meanwhile, the Kook destroyers zero in on the MupwI and open up with their medium-range weapons since they haven't gotten in close. The Kook destroyers also have the tag for House V'Roth, so they go in and open up with their long-range weapons. So a mass of photon torpedoes spew out from the Kook destroyers, all of them towards the MupwI. As such, Kook destroyers, you are gonna hit for that much. Did I get that right? I did. So the MupwI shakes, and it starts to and the lights on the bridge flicker. At which point, Commander Keth, the engineer, goes, "Power loss, Captain." "Well, don't just stand there, Keth. Tell me why!" barks a cool. At which point, the MupwI's first officer, where is he? Cracks, goes over to the operations officer and consults the readouts. "Captain, all of those torpedoes struck us in the same area. Starboard, aft, section 12. Aft, section 12? Our plasma injectors. They're targeting our plasma injectors. True Klingon warriors would try and fight this honorably, not try and shut us down before we haven't even had a chance to engage. Dishonorable dogs. If we take too many hits at our plasma injectors, we could be without power, without shields, weapons, anything. We're going to have to see to that the moment we can. Lieutenant Stevens, how familiar are you with Klingon engineering operations?" Let me phrase it another way. Get down to engineering and give us a hand. We lose our plasma injectors, we lose everything. So for the moment, what happened was it took a hit. Shields are holding, but power loss because of the specific place they hit. Pardon me, actually. I forgot something, so let me add that. Moving over. The Navis. The Navis opened fire on a bird of prey, managed to pretty much obliterate its shields in one go, but the birds of prey were at medium range and power in too close, at which point they all line up in an attack formation and come in one after the other, opening up with the disruptor cannons on their underslung wings. One comes in, lays in a shot and rolls off. One comes in, lays in a shot, rolls off. And as it does, it regains the shields. Burrell, get shields back. As they come in on an attack vector, they all start piling their shots one after the other, ba-bam, 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 as they do attack runs past the Navis, in which case, one after the other, combining their firepower, they effect 16 minus 7 is 9. As the shields of the Navis basically get hammered, but of critical importance here is the fact that they manage to score over 5 after damage after resistance is counted for. At which point the ship rocks, so everybody feel free to give me the Star Trek shake in one means or another, as engineering takes a breach. So, rules for engineering. Whenever the engineering system's one or more breaches and disrupts functions, loses 2 power immediately. So the lights flicker as the power is taken. So for the moment, anything requiring the ship's engines or that has a power requirement increases in difficulty and complication range by 1 until a engineer can use a minor action to alleviate that. That means that the birds of prey are now all within close range of the Navis. Boom, 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 boom. But just as that strafing run happens, that is when you get an alert as Commander Claude notes a new contact on his scope. Another ship is emerging from behind an electromagnetic eddy. This ship is much larger than a bird of prey. So, sensors confirm its shields are up. It is in game terms, a scale 4 ship. Yours is a scale 5. Armed with phaser arrays, disruptor cannons, and plasma torpedoes, all pointed in your general direction.
I'm seriously thinking, can we detonate in some way, shape or form some of these areas that these ships are right on top of? Just to... Because
I suggested that last time, it was too much.
I suggested it as well. Yeah.
The ship turns itself
about. It gets to the point where it's like, I don't think we can take this many without something drastic.
Just no confidence. Regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Just try harder.
Yep.
So the first shot from their phaser array takes after. Let me actually check that. Check the math on that. This guy is not at close range. He is at medium. 2 shots. 8 plus 2 is 3, which is 5. Ooh. 2 shots at 5. So that means that goes down by that much, and then that goes down by that much. No, pardon me, wrong ship. What am I doing? I've gotten myself utterly confused. I do apologise. Right, let me try that again. 2 shots at 8 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Phaser arrays open up and manage to knock the Navis's shields down even further, but there are still technically shields remaining. Not enough damage was taken after resistance was applied for a breach to happen, but the Navis is now very low on shields after that other ship just turned up from behind a cloud. So, that's the situation we find ourselves in at the end of round 1. Before we proceed to round 2, are there any characters who haven't acted yet and might think they want to? As far as I am aware, Bertram and Stevens at least have not taken any direct actions, even though Stevens has just been asked to attend to the problem on the MupwI. So shall we first go to Stevens and see if she can help out anything on the MupwI? So who wants to take over Engineer Stevens for a moment? If anybody? Or should we just default it to Webby because that's his character's system? I'm gonna go with the latter then. Webby, you available? Or are you off listening to...
You can definitely do some repairs given the... She is good at, what was it, electroplasma systems.
Yeah. Roll you need. Okay, cool. So let's go with daring and engineering. Let's make this difficulty 2, which Stevens is not exactly sure what she's looking for. Check the status of the ship, even though technically this is the MupwI, not the Navis, but okay. Let's go for it. Oh, that was good. Double 1s! So, gain an extra momentum on that, which means that... Okay. Stevens thinks she's patched the plasma injectors well enough that they should stand up to a bit more punishment. However, before we end round 1, Lieutenant Monod pipes up, saying that he's just analysed the attack vectors of the ships on the Navis and on the MupwI. The birds of prey laid in fire on deck 15 specifically. They did not deviate. Each one of them fired directly for deck 15. The other ship that came in from behind a electromagnetic cloud opened fire on the Navis and struck it on deck 2 exclusively. Which introduces a new complication for you. They seem to know exactly where to hit you. So if everybody casts their minds back to when the Navis entered the Tidikal realm, the two areas that the ship took the most damage on were Deck 2 and Deck 15. Likewise, Klingons aiming for a Klingon ship, they know where to hit on there as well. So, with all of that in mind, I now move us to round 2. So, technically, one of you can take one of the players can take their actions, or one of the player characters can take their actions, and then it goes to enemies, then players, enemies, players, enemies, players. So, who wants to deign to go first? Because I see shields are in need of raising, power is potentially in need of restoring, an engineering problem is in need of repair.
I can do a attempt a sick bay action to, as there was a breach on the engineering section, to try and give them the ability to reroll 1d20 as a sick bay action.
Yes, indeed you can. So, unless anybody else wants to... I don't hear anyone asking for anything, so let's start with the dock. So this is going to be a daring and medicine task with a difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's computers and medicine. So, let's have... Mike, can you be the Navis for me, please?
Sure.
I want computers and medicine.
I'm throwing in this as daring is not my highest thing.
Starfleet Surgeon's decoration. Okay, you can reduce the difficulty of a single medical task by 1. So it's now difficulty 1. Excellent.
What did you say for the Navis again?
So, I've forgotten it too. What did I just say? Sick bay. Computers and medicine, if you please, sir.
That's okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if the Navis can pull us
compensate
back.
for me.
The answer is no.
Ooh.
So the ship has
Well,
taken a knock, everybody's fallen down, and Dr. Bertram is trying his best to get a handle on the situation as minor injuries are starting to come in. He tries to patch up.
We don't really
specific
blame
damage.
Bertram.
What was that? Sorry, Mike?
I said we don't really blame Bertram for this failure.
No,
Not
we've got
yet.
plenty of Orions to blame.
So that was Bertram. So unless one of you is going to spend 2 momentum in order to seize the initiative,
it might be worth it. I've had an idea, and the commander's vaguely given it the okay. Actually, it wouldn't be something for Edwards to do. Actually, it'd be on the Navis.
exactly. Edwards is
No,
on
this is
freighter.
something we could do without being on the Navis.
I don't think the smaller
We
ships
can
have a spare
tow
warp core.
They don't need a spare. We can tow them when we're done.
Yes, but they need to be able to get away from the explosion.
Nah. They've got enough other shields to cope.
You had the idea of it. Initially, it was the Navis injecting one of the, because it's got multiple cores, injecting one of the warp cores and detonating it amongst the one of the fligs.
Corrected by Matt.
All right.
We haven't got multiple cores.
Yeah,
we've got multiple
I will say
reactors.
this once again.
That was it.
It's
Okay,
it's
then.
vibes
It
of
says
wishful
here-
thinking.
Secondary reactors. The ship has additional impulse and fusion reactors, which generates all that extra power. It doesn't have an extra warp core.
Okay then. Alright, I'll refer to the commander, given there is actually a ship close, a freighter close enough. What are the actual chances it would be caught in an explosion and therefore endanger the crew? Because that'll be the thing of whether Edwards would actually step up to his commander and say, yeah, let's not do that.
So, who wants to act next, basically? If you want to spend 2 momentum and take the initiative, seize the initiative, however you pronounce it.
I think the Navis shields are critically low, so I think we should be boosting those shields.
So, if I recall, let's take you back to the bridge 1 second. Actually, no, let's leave it on the Nebula. Let me just bring Kirst to you. Kirst is your current operations officer. Oh, there she is, right there. My mistake. But see here in the mix. My apologies, Kirst. She's your current operations officer, so she can try and do shields, maybe. Or there's the chief engineer himself that could try and do shields. But he might have his own engineering-related problems to see to. How do you want to do this? Who wants to try and do shields? Otherwise, I will just simply recommend it be Kirst. Okay, Kirst and Shilby.
If you have anyone else on there, then yeah.
Seize the initiative. Kirst is up. So, Jan, since you recommended it, how about you be Kirst? This is going to be trying to re-raise shields. It's an internal systems job, which means that we need a control and engineering task from Kirst, assisted by the ship. Let's have... Sean, you haven't done anything yet. Let's have you be the Navis if we can.
Ready?
The Navis is going to be aiding with structure and engineering. Does this require power? Yes, it does. As a result, the difficulty of this is now up to 2 and has a complication range of extra. So, let's see what else we got. So, the Navis generates 1 success. So, Jan, if you could be Kirst, she is doing...
Kirst's got a value, so perhaps we should use it.
That's what you want to do.
I think so.
Not hearing any objection. Control and engineering, difficulty 2, complication range has gone up as well to 2.
And most foci... No, it doesn't look like it.
She does not, I am afraid. Applicable foci. That wasn't bad. That was... Whoa! 4 successes! That wasn't bad at all. So, what you can do here is you have gotten... 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You've gotten 4 successes over and above what you needed. You can do the usual, bank some, or add extra to the amount of shields restored. So, you've already successfully restored 2 from that. Every extra 1 you put in of the 4 that you've now generated extra can be used to raise 2 more shields each. So,
shields.
How much? Or all of them?
Yeah.
Was that a year for all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, whoosh! Shields back up to over half. Alright, well done, Kirst. Alright then. Good amount of tasks done there. So you've now seized the initiative, but it's my turn. Who am I going to do first? You know what? Let's stick with the Navis for now. Now I know technically these birds of prey are kind of all clustered in a weird morass, but they are in a tight formation operating together. As such, consider them all within close range of the Navis. As such, they are going to open up again with similar results. As such, is that right? Did I calculate that correctly? Which which means they come piling in. They start concentrating their shots in the same area once again as they bring the shields right the hell down, and engineering suffers another breach. Things are starting to get serious, folks. So what happens now with engines taking 2 for the moment? That is another minus action, and that means power goes down by 2 again. It's still a minor bit of damage at the moment, but if it gets any higher than that, you're going to start to be in trouble. But 2 power goes as the engineering section takes another hit, as the birds of prey concentrate on deck 15. Now that's them gone, it's one of you's turn to go next. Who wants it?
Davis, do you think that's possible?
Let's go for the madness.
I said, is that possible rather than... Okay.
That sounds like not so
then.
much is it possible, so much as let's try it.
Rather than ejecting the closest one, we're going to teleport one of the other freighters, warp cores amongst them, but giving it far enough distance from the one that's closest to the destroyers so it doesn't get caught in the blast, or at least isn't going to suffer catastrophic damage.
Okay.
Using the one that is closest to the destroyers to launch actually gives that one a chance to get out of there.
So, you want to actively ping the one you want to sacrifice its core. That one all the way down there.
So I'm thinking if that one launches its core towards the destroyers on a timer, when it runs out of timer, it's not going to have any containment anymore. I.e. very large antimatter bomb, but it's only a one-shot. And then it's going to hightail it out of there behind the shields of everything else.
They're going to need to engage emergency thrusters because their primary power is going to go as soon as they inject their warp core. Alright, let's give this a go. So, this is going to be basically Vibers activating and Vibers coordinating things. So I am going to let you use presence and engineering to tell the crew of the freighter exactly what to do.
Okay. I think this comes in, right?
I was going to say focus power systems, to be honest.
What? Where does throwing your voice help with this? Unless you wanted to make it sound as if it's coming from another speaker in the bridge of that. No, I agree with. I agree with our esteemed Lieutenant Junior Grade here. Basically, power systems or your warp field dynamics and whatever is going to be the one to pay attention to.
Because you're a talent.
I don't know. I don't remember giving myself it. I just appeared and it was here one day.
I don't know either, to be honest. And to be frank, it's funny. So. Why wouldn't you keep it?
Ventriloquist of what Burden's determination wants to do. Got to look here.
It doesn't even have any notes on it, so I think someone stuck it in there as a joke, personally.
Probably you, Davis, and you've forgotten it.
Yeah, entirely possible.
No, because I can't spell ventriloquist.
Yes, but you know how to use Google.
True, but I'd have put it in cap. Okay.
Presence and engineering.
Who's helping on this one then?
If you want somebody to help, they can, which means they'll be taking their turn essentially now with you.
Ah, right. In which case, let's go without. I
mean, Richard might not be a better one for his teleporting things, but it's...
Yeah,
I'd say
it's an option.
Would the equivalent of like as a value to use this with steady hands technically be it? Because you're dealing with something highly explosive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yep. So
Hard-working, yeah.
I like that. Ventriloquism, hardworking, and warp field dynamics. One rattling off after the other.
Okay. Go.
All right.
That'll
4
do.
successes, which means 2 over what you needed. None of them hit complication range, so you're all good. Which means a warp bomb.
How well did I deal
goes
with
off.
my poker? Not
So,
poker. Pool.
Eject
or
the reactor
snooker.
is... You're talking somebody else through it, which is why presence. And so, if the ship suffers a loss of containment, reactors may explode. Increase by 1 for each successive round, so for 2 the second round. If one or more effects of all the reactors explode, destroying the ship immediately, killing them, inflicting 3 piercing 2 damage to all ships within close. That's not a hell of a lot, but we'll see what it does. If we use the rules as written, what do we get? Not much. 3 piercing, 2 close. Piercing 2 means... That doesn't seem an awful lot for a warp core breach. I'll tell you this for now. I've always wondered at the rules as written.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's something they're going to fix in 2nd edition. That really seems like a fart in a spacesuit, really, that one.
Either that or, Scotty and LaForge were overselling the issue.
Let's go for something a bit bigger.
Bomb. If it hits,
It's supposed to be a big...
destroy everything.
Where's the kaboom? Let's look at a 6 rather than a 3 and see what we get. Whoa, mama! Okay, 1, 2, 3.
That's a nicer number.
It's got
So was that the
piercing,
freight
so it'll
thing?
go through reaches, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you just blow up the freighter?
No, that's aiming at the destroyer.
Because I realised the first one's got the freighter highlighted and it's taken 9 damage.
Well, yeah, the freighter has now, after ejecting its core, has got nothing to provide power to shields or the engines. So
Okay, so I thought
That's
that
why
meant
it's-
that
that's why it's
gone
empty.
after. Okay.
But a tractor beam from its fellow freighter will bring it in close enough for shields to help. Then the explosion goes off. The destroyer loses half of its shields and takes a breach. So you've done some damage.
Catch more.
Sadly, we're talking about rather large distances of space. Not large, but enough to make a difference. Baboom. The freighter's core isn't as big as the MupwI's or the Navis's, especially the Navis's. Therefore generates less. So for the moment, you have essentially bombed one of the destroyers. You have had an effect, don't worry, but yes, not the earth-shattering kaboom we're led to believe. Usually, warp cores being a matter-antimatter explosion have their effects closing things like singularities and whatnot. I don't think anyone in Trek history has ever used it as an actual timed explosive.
Cool, we're setting trends.
So you
I might be
essentially...
getting a disciplinary by the Corps of Engineers.
So I essentially doubled the damage a photon torpedo does, and went with that. So
This might be on the same size as of don't do this as using a transporter as a cheese grater.
I now have interesting things going on in my head with putting a block of cheese down on the transporter pad and energizing, and it comes back as grated.
That's not how the buffers work.
I will leave you with that mental image. It's much better than the one I was trying to pass along.
I was guessing that you were talking about splurging actual people. We'll move away
take
from
it
that.
twice out of the middle as you go and just carry on.
So, let's have one of them go next. So, the other ship now moves to within close. And this is where it opens up with its close-range weapons, as banks of disruptor cannons open up on the Navis. So let's see, where is this? This is... Close range it does 9, which means minus what it knows to do as it aims for deck 2. Which means it is 4, which means shields are gone and structure takes a breach, which means everybody again has to give me the Star Trek shake as the entire ship shudders, power conduits rupture, console explode, and I now have to roll a challenge dice in order to see if
Completive armor, save us.
Woo! Okay, so more folks are going to start entering sickbay now, as folks in or near deck 2 are going to start reporting injuries. Nothing lethal, thank goodness, but you're now getting burns and lacerations from exploding consoles and the like. So we now have that going on, but nothing that gives you any extra permanent damage. But shields are now down, which means that on the bridge of the Navis, a alert sounds as Lieutenant Turin, who is on pardon me, just on my comms. Just on my comm badge. As Lieutenant Turin looks down at her console and reports, "Captain, I have transporter signals. Somebody's beaming aboard. A lot of somebody's is beaming aboard. Are beaming aboard." And Lieutenant Keshen reports. If I can just find Keshen's speechifier. Excuse me a moment. Where are you? Here. Well. And as soon as it loads. Go on, Keshen. There we go.
Captain, I'm getting reports of boarding parties noted on deck 14, 15, 18, deck 4, and deck 6, and deck 1.
Outside of the bridge, you can start to hear shouting. So, it seems you have boarders. Who wants to go next? Don't everybody pile in at once.
I mean, is there anything we can do on the other ships?
Well, let me see. Where are you? You are currently on the MupwI. The MupwI hasn't had its chance to go yet.
Okay, but there's really nothing we can do then.
So you could, if you wanted, try and regain some of the MupwI's shields, because it has had them knocked down by about a third, if not slightly
Okay,
more.
I'd like to try that.
If everybody's okay with Lieutenant Orion going next.
Yep.
In that case, let's activate Orion. Orion, then, you are looking to bring shields back on the MupwI. This is an internal systems check. So, regenerating shields. Who hasn't rolled anything yet? Pretty much everybody's had the chance now to roll something, haven't they? So let's come back around to Alex. Have you rolled much yet?
I've not rolled anything yet so far.
Okay, you can be the MupwI for me then, please. Just confirm that you can access it.
Ships.
It's actually here on the. Oh, it's actually. Let me make it easier on you. Let's go to the.
I was going to say you've moved it, so I was trying to find it in the ships tab.
That's fine. Let me make it easier and go back to the nebula. I do beg your pudding.
There we are. Can I access it? Nope.
All right then.
No
let me
humans
change
allowed.
That. Let me just just make sure that it is linked to the actual MupwI and not just a generic cavort. No, it is. Okay, so Narendra Station, ships, the MupwI, all of you should really have access to that, so let me change it to owner. Try now.
Okay, so what was it? It was
Excellent.
computers.
So we are looking to try and have Ori up the shields. So Ori needs to give me a control and engineering task, difficulty 1. The MupwI needs to give me structure and engineering. This is a difficulty 1.
Computers.
It's odd seeing a ship with better stats than ours.
Not everywhere. The MupwI is very focused. Computers. I will give you that, because you are using a computer system in order to route power back to the shields. There's 1 success from the MupwI. There's 2 successes. So, like I said when Yan did this for the Navis, you've gained 2 extra over what you needed. So you can either, well, you've got a full momentum pool, so you can generate extra shields with that, which means the MupwI is brought up to full shields again. Nice.
Ooh, I did something.
You did. And basically you run over to the operations console, and the operations officer just kind of looks up at Ori going, "Hey!" As Ori just nudges him to one side, starts accessing the ship systems, and routes power back to the shields. At which point...
Out of the way, Pete.
At which point, the first officer, Krax, looks over at the console that you just... that Ori just accessed and went, "Confirmed. Shields back to full, Captain." "Excellent, Lieutenant Ori."
Thank you, sir.
That means we can deal more damage to this scum.
Well, you've got an opening down below.
Oh my. So that was Ori. Whilst Ori is at the console there, you do get an insignia reading on the other ship that appeared that is coming at the Navis from another direction. It is the MupwI's computer system, which currently is mostly Unit Hello, reckons on it being a designation of an Orion Blackguard, so it's another bigger Orion ship.
Oh, great. I would pass that along to the captain.
Communicate this to the Navis, even though they probably have already guessed. Nevertheless, it is indeed the bad guy's turn next. So the birds of prey have gone. The Blackguard has battered down the remainder of the shields. Okay, so it's time for the MupwI to get some more grief from the Kook destroyers, and this time they move in from medium range to close range, which means they come in on an attack vector, combine their firepower, and at blimey. Okay, so at close range they open up with their disruptor cannons. MupwI has resistance. That is a 9, which means the remainder of that. So there's a blistering hail of fire as shots ring in, knocking down the shields. Not all the way, but shields are now down to almost... Let's see. It's almost like a third remaining shields, but there was also enough damage done that the ship suffers a breach. Which means we have to find which system was hit. Weapons! Uh-oh! Just the one they didn't want hit. So a single impact from weapons means that they are temporarily unavailable until a minor restore action is done. So let's put that in. Minor weapons damage. No weapons can be used until minor actions taken to repair that. So that was the Kook destroyers as they all come in and start pounding the MupwI again on the same section. But thanks to the repairs that Stevens made, the repairs hold up, and therefore the MupwI doesn't suffer further power loss. Nice. Who of you wants to go next? You do have boarding actions going on the Navis, bear in mind, as well as the ship battle going on in the Nebula. If you want a rundown of the systems that are probably being targeted, what's on... Well, Deck 1 is obviously the bridge.
Are we close enough to hack into the Orion Raiders ships?
You can try. It's not something a cargo freighter was designed to do. So it's going to be interesting using basically a civilian freighter to do this.
Ed would probably, given how much fun and how useful it was the second time the Orions messed with our systems, when Edwards was able to turn the table on them. But I think it was back during when we were on the station during that Klingon trial thing.
Yeah.
He would have kept a copy.
Okay.
Or at least of that kind of backdoors they used. I mean, yes, it's not what the freighters used, but it would have had something to at least try and compensate for that.
So everybody, can I use that? The MupwI is totally my ship. Sorry, sure. So were you referring to this plan of Alex's or something else?
No, I can stop the weapons breach if the MupwI counts to one.
Yeah, okay. So basically, who wants to go next out of you two then? Do you think Edwards?
I'm happy to let him go first.
Okay.
Oh, but the medal just goes into effect if we spend 2 momentum. It's not my actions.
Oh, the Cragite Order of Heroism. Right, I get you. So you're spending that rather than... Right, gotcha. My pardon.
Yeah.
My pardon, so the weapons breach didn't happen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Spend 2 momentum or suffer a complication to ignore one of those breaches.
Yeah, took the momentum off.
Here we are, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The MupwI is totally your ship, so they lay in some shots, try and take out the weapon systems, but don't manage to, thanks to it being Nova's ship. That ship. So that's just Nova using an ability there, really, isn't it? So
yeah, sorry.
That's fine, because it means that we don't necessarily have to count it as... because that's a response to something. So that means that Nova can still get another action in after the fact. But since you've done that, let's go over to Edwards then.
I am probably going to be taking some form of this as a focus in between next ones, because I think I've used it enough to validate it.
Let's see then.
We've already sort of used scrabbling their own communication, so I'd like to try and use that as a piggyback, as it's already sort of like vaguely infiltrated the systems to basically drop in one of the
I get where you're going. Somebody's already cracked their, well, or at the very least is impeded their systems.
Using their own program from a previous episode against them, but tweaking it a bit more to mess with their systems.
Right, so using prior knowledge to assist. It's fine with me. Makes all the sense.
Vaguely tending just to cause mischief in general, just disruption. I'm not going to be able to fully take out anything. It's just literally equivalent of maybe like a DDoS attack. There's lots of small things that cause a bigger disruption.
Essentially what they tried to do to you guys. Disrupt your ability to respond. That's fine. The freighter rather, I should say, is going to assist a little bit with what it can, and because rather than give you access to that, I'm going to roll himself. That was pants. So it's all down to Edwards. Ooh, yes.
Just to remind you on that one, we did link all the freighters together.
You did. So you've got like a broadcast dish, basically. So you've already done something to up the power. So thank you for reminding me. I will bear that in mind. So overall, I've added threat to up the difficulty of this back up to 2. I'm also going to spend threat to up the complication range, because if this goes wrong, you could burn out the whole transceiver network. But I'm going to go definitely with daring for this, because you are trying to change something to do something else.
Daring science or daring security?
I will do science, because you're using your knowledge of communication, encryption, and that kind of thing. So
and as this is something I've been dawdling before, can I justify those who not learn from history are doomed to repeat it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, positively, definitely.
Focus, determination. You say you increase the complication range, so
I did.
You change it. Is that change it to 2?
Yes, please. Okay, good. No complications there. 4 successes, which means you got over and above what was needed. The momentum goes back into the pool. So you've created an advantage, essentially. Let me just basically call that one.
I'm really falling over my tongue this evening. I've been doing it all day, so I do apologise.
What was that, sorry?
I said I've been falling over my tongue all day.
I do it
so I do
all
apologise
the
for
time. Don't worry about it. You guys have to put up with me talking all the time. Alright, so that's you. You've successfully created compromised systems, so their ability to make attack runs or do anything else is now going to be severely limited. Not severely limited, but it will definitely be limited. To what extent, I will work that out myself. Mind. Alright, so that's one of you gone. So once again, unless you want to take 2 momentum to seize the initiative from me, it's gonna be actually the Raiders' turn. Yeah, let's do that. So the Raiders are going to try for another attack run. They are staying at medium range because they seem to be preferring to hit the from a distance, but now because they are having to fight against their own systems, I am going to reduce that to a paltry. So they engage in some wild shots from Viber's and Edward's standpoint, from the viewpoint of your own lead cargo hauler. You see the Raiders come about on an attack run, but they kind of almost bump into each other, as if they were trying to line up a coordinated shot, but they're turning very sluggishly, and a lot of their shots go wild. Some do impact and ping off of the one that they had targeted before, but the impacts are nevertheless negligible. And that guy would have got some shields back before, but they've been taken down a little bit, so you've made it more difficult for them. Who of you guys wants to go next? Anybody. I mean, the Navis has got its own problems. It's got a lot of problems at the moment. If you're going to do anything to start turning the tide and attacking another ship, you're going to need to do things like maybe doing sensors so that you can gain the piercing quality to your weapons. You might need to set up a helm to do an attack or an evasive run. You still got the advantage easier to hit the enemy that Andrews gave last time. So you could just try firing right now before too many of your advantages.
If they're in close range, it'll be hard for them to dodge a full spread torpedo barrage.
Enough.
But then again, also it does need our repairs and shields do need to be brought back up.
Yes, indeed. So, internal systems has already been used once to try and to bring up shields, and they were brought up successfully. So, maybe the next smart thing would be to either do helm's attack or evasive roll, or to do trying to scan for a weakness?
Say who hasn't rolled yet, or at least rolled the least.
I mean, Jan, you haven't done a bit in a while. Do you want Thazanan to do a helm maneuver?
Yeah, that will do it. Let's do that one.
Sound a bit quiet there, mate. Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. The helm. Can you hear?
A bit quiet.
Yeah.
Turn things down a bit.
Yeah, I'll do a helm.
Okay, so what would you like? Attack or evasive? Or are you going to do the multi one again?
I'll do the multi one, but I'll use a. I'm going to use a value on the second one. So the first one will just be straight up daring and convoy evasive maneuvers.
Dokie do. Which means we're going to need the ship's help with this. So, Gareth, if you would like to assist as the ship.
Yep.
We're doing... What are we doing first? The attack pattern or the evasive?
Evasive.
Evasive. So this is going to be structure and con for the Navis. This is going to cost a point of power as well. So if you could take a point of power off, please, Gareth.
Yep. One success, point of power.
That's a point. As we need to... Davis, don't we have to do something with Bravo, the chief engineer, in regards to power? Is Davis there?
We could do.
Roll a challenge dice. For the power. Oof, blimey. Roll a challenge dice for the power. If you would be so kind.
Yep. I'm just trying to remember how to do it.
Open up his character sheet, go to challenge dice, and just roll one dice. Nothing, so it still took 1 power. Okay. So, well, the barrel roll, as Mike pointed out, was a brimming success there for evasive. That's a good point, actually. That should have been difficulty 2. And because using power the engines has not got as much of. So attack pattern is going to be going to be 1 more difficulty than it otherwise would be as well, and also has 1 more complication. Because of the fact that engineering has taken a hit. Does Thazanan ignore stuff like that?
Yes, push the limits decreases or ignores 1 level of difficulty due to environmental or damage to the engine.
There we are. Yes. Good. Okay, so ignore that.
So 2 of the successes I will use for doing a secondary main action, major action, and that will be the attack pattern.
All right then.
And I shall make determination on that.
Cool beans. All right, so Gareth, once again, if you could be the ship.
Yep.
This also has a power requirement, and this time it's weapons and con for the ship, please.
Con? Yep.
And 1 point of power is used.
Yep. 1 success.
Oof. Dear Lord! Jan, you and these ones!
I don't know, man. The algorithm likes me.
Does. Really does.
You better start sacrificing to it.
All hail.
Oh, hell.
6 successes, which means you get way over and above what you needed. Good lordy lorks. Okay. Davis, can you roll that challenge dice again, please? Just to find out what the power requirement, if it went down or not. Thank you! No.
By 2?
Still took power. Actually, what was it? Isn't it? You reduce... Alright, whenever someone attempts to roll a task with a power requirement, you roll a challenge die. On an effect, reduce that power requirement by 1. 1.
It's not perfect.
It's perfect. Otherwise, when you try and succeed at the power management, you restore a bout of power equal to his engineering score. That probably needs to happen next, actually. Because power for the Navis is now going down. Okie dokie, but that was a very successful Thazanan maneuver. Attack and evasive at the same time. What's left? Alright, it's the bad
We're on a
guys.
Bravo.
Well,
Do we want to let the bad guys go, or can I spend the momentum to get us some power back?
that's a good point. Do you want to spend momentum to seize the initiative?
Spend the momentum. Spend
Okay.
it.
How many?
2. Okay, so now your chief engineer goes next, and he needs to do a power management task, methinks, which is all down to the... Excuse me. All down to the character that the ship does not assist. Daring or control and engineering with a difficulty 2. This goes up to difficulty 3, unless he uses a quick action to do a minor restore. So let's do that first. That's going to be control and engineering first to do a minor restore action so that you fix the thing with the power requirements.
Okay.
That's going to be damage control and repair focus very easily. Somebody better spend a determination or one of their Legion of Honors. Going once. There we go.
Yeah.
That's an ant to the rescue.
I think that's my last one.
I was going to say, I think that's your last one, yeah, so there we are. I will agree. Alright,
Okay.
so he got no successes, which means he didn't fix the minor problem, but he can try and still do a power restoration action. It's just going to be a little more difficult than it otherwise would be. Which means it's control or daring.
Coordination
and
is
engineering.
key.
You can use, you can definitely use a value to spend determination. The difficulty is going to be 2, and the complication range goes up to 2 as well.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, coordination is key. That's a good point, actually. He is chief engineer, so the difficulty actually goes down. But, as a result, it went up to 2, it went back down to 1, so that's 3 over and above what you needed, so what you can do is, like with shields, you can either put some of those extra momentum into the momentum pool, or you can use some or all of them to regain additional points of power. Actually, wait a minute. He regains, what's his engineering score? 5. He's already restored 5. He can restore an extra 3.
That puts us on full power.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. This is why he's the chief. So
He's got good manuals.
Sorry, what was that?
He's got good manuals.
He had a good teacher. Opens up a bit more of the core for generating additional energy and manages to distribute it throughout the ship, so yes. Nicely done, which means that you've spent momentum to seize the initiative, and you have done it. You haven't repaired the issue yet, the minor issue yet, but you've managed to get an excessive amount of power back, which is really good. So, now it's the boarder's turn, unless you're seizing the initiative again.
Who's not actually gone?
Let's see. Stevens, Claught, Mono, Nova, Andrews have not gone.
I would be tempted to seize the initiative and stop the boarders.
Okay, cool.
Or at least on the bridge, on the command deck.
Cool, cool. In that case, I will move us to the bridge. So, we are on the bridge. Why
There's a free action. Can we activate the virus protocol to lock down the main computer?
It's not exactly a free option. It's not exactly a free action as such, because it's still a go to the computer terminal, use your voice to activate, and spend the seconds you need to activate the thing. So it's a quick action.
Alright, a quick action then, okay.
It's a quick action, which means you can't use that quick action to do anything else, like draw a weapon, or tune a phaser, or anything like that. Or move. So
I would challenge that, but you're the GM.
You can spend a momentum to give yourself an extra fast action.
We've already spent 2 to seize initiative. What's everyone's thoughts?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're in a pretty emergency situation.
Yeah. Pull out all the stops or we toast.
Alright.
Well,
There's the sound of phaser fire going on outside the room, the bridge, and then the doors fly open, and a bunch of Orions race.
I thought we
onto
seized the
the bridge.
initiative.
You do. I'm letting you see them.
Alright, okay.
So you get to act first
You'll
before
click
they
on
get
the
to
door.
act, but that's them doing their boarding action and coming in onto the bridge.
Okay.
Intruders
I
on the
wouldn't have
bridge!
Yeah, I assume I wouldn't have my Type 3 phaser.
Your rifle?
bridge.
No, probably not. But you've definitely got the Type 2.
So
In
yeah,
an
quick
emergency
action.
situation, everybody would have one. So.
Yeah, quick action would be to so activate the virus protocol for spending the initiative seconds, spending the momentum to draw a weapon.
Yep, you've got a weapon. What was that?
That was my phone, sorry.
That was such perfect timing.
Sorry.
No, that's brilliant. I've got a weapon now. Diddle-diddle-ding. Andrews wins.
Reality.
So, yeah. Andrews gets to go.
You know what? I'm really tempted to go all out on this. They want to play hand to hand. Let's play hand to hand.
You've got a quick action to move. Yep, so don't even need to use the quick action to draw a weapon. You can use it to move. Off you go. Actually, you only use the quick action to move into a different zone, and they're in the same zone as you, so never mind. Physical enhancement arm. So, you can choose to take 3 challenge dice in stress to add a single d20 to your dice pool. Multiple dice may be brought in this way, but the damage is added together.
So this is daring, isn't it? Daring and security for hand.
Daring and security. So let's do this fellow in order to show that this is not easy stuff. Oh man! Alright. So he basically gets 1 success because the complication nullified one of them. So, Andrews.
I'm gonna push that.
You were supposed
I
to
will
roll.
spend-
You can inflict stress on yourself to roll extra dice. So you forgot to roll the extra dice.
Oh yeah, I did actually.
So
forget to
roll one more. That's better. You win that one. So you got 1 over what was needed, which means you can add an extra dice to damage.
So that
Wasn't bad. 6 successes. Whoosh. That was one hell of a chin. What was that roll for?
that's the additional.
The addition. Okay, so that's an additional 1 and a knockdown. Or do you want to throw him into something?
I want to throw him at the others.
Throw him at the others. Okay.
I've just imagined he came in and said, "Captain, we have your bridge surrendered before we're forced to hurt you." And just goes, "Get to kill someone!"
Next round, free action, draw the duck target, go in. You get what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Ever board a Psycho Captain's bridge? This is why no one ever took Voyager, because everyone was afraid of Janeway.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to do here? Technically, Caval has taken an action, so has Cursed. Claude has not, so this is going to be interesting now. Claude can either join in on the action going on here, or can continue firing phasers like Thazanan has set up for him to do, which means it's going to be basically down to... Now, obviously, Bertram's not on the bridge, he's in sickbay. Yep. So let's move Bertram outside of the bridge for a moment, just to give us the impression of who's on the bridge. Thank you for that, Gareth.
That's okay.
So, Andrews has acted. Privateers are all going to try and gang up. Let's see, so they can do... They got a 9 and a 2, which is an 11, which means they get 1 success against Andrews, who has got daring and security. So, can I get Andrews to roll me daring and security again, please? 3 successes, so add 2 to damage, please.
Add 2 to damage?
Yes, so roll down. Yeah, so basically, unarmed combat and extra 2 damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. 5 and additional, so 5 is enough to take 1 out and take an additional, flinging them around like nobody's business. 1 more person on the bridge could act, so this is an interesting thing. Mono could either try and act and draw a phaser, as could Keshen, as could Turin, but Mono, of course, can also use sensors to try and scan for a weakness on a target ship. So
I would probably say Turin's probably best to act, and Claude and Caval need to focus on the main ship combat.
Alright, so we're gonna... Actually, it's a good point. What's Turin's...
I'd say that she's gonna... Yeah, I'd say that Turin's not going in full flail.
She's a Vulcan. Vulcans are very strong, but she's probably going to draw a phaser. So... Yeah. Let's go...
Her control's better than her daring, and her security's 1, so...
Who hasn't rolled in a while? Mike! Technically, Turin is on your science staff. You can see if you can access Turin's character sheet, if you please.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what else I can screw up here.
Oh, Mike, come on! Confidence! Confidence!
Screw up the Orions.
Yeah, you're only against Orions, it's fine.
Yes. Ah, where is... Oh, here we go.
So there's Turin.
Which Turin is it? There's 2 Lieutenant Turins.
Oh, that's a good point. You found the 2 Turins. Let me go for...
Turin twins.
One is the past version, one is the current, so let me find the correct one. So...
Next week, the Turin of Star Trek's yet to come.
Yes. They're gonna be like the new Bravo.
The Turin elective.
Right. That should make things easier.
Okay.
So you want the one that's not the previous version.
Okay, so what do you want me to roll?
I am going to say that in all likelihood, in a situation such as this, the Type 2 phasers will have come out. Because there are phaser storage boxes on the bridge as de facto standard.
Yes.
So, what I want is a control and security from Turin, please, to fire a phaser. Difficulty is 2. She doesn't have any focuses in it whatsoever, but we'll see how we do. Not bad, not great. Okie dokie.
Pew pew.
So she tries her best, but there's a lot going on in that clustered area. She doesn't want to hit the captain by accident, so she goes a bit wide with her shot out of caution.
Not angry, just disappointed. Try harder.
She did her best.
Our best isn't good enough. We rescued you.
We really should have anti-boarding sound weapons installed on all the...
They are. There's one on every deck.
Yes, but let's just get it out of the pocket, out of the container.
No, but that's sort of
we
built
would have,
into the-
but the captain didn't want us to attach them to automated things that come out of the bulkhead.
I wonder why.
Rin takes 4 stress from a disruptor
You
pistol.
have to remember, we're
Okey-doke.
still a Federation vessel. You know, there are limits.
Maybe just on the turbo lifts.
Alright, moving out once more. Let's get a bird's eye view of what we need to deal with here. Captain is dealing with... Captain, some of the bridge crew are dealing with the attack by there. And as we sit, we actually get something happen. So, let me find the right voice modulator. Is this thing on? Hey, there we go. Hey, Dr. Bertram. You remember me? Your old pal? The guy that,
Hey,
you
old
know,
top.
held you up?
How's your
long
disruptor?
time
Still
ago.
working?
Well, I've got a proposition for you, Doc. Why don't you come on down to the Arboretum? You know, that place where you've got those spores stashed? Why don't you and I have a conversation about that? Just you and me in the Arboretum. It's your old pal, Uldar Vess. And, you know, if you take too long, my hand just might slip on this detonator and you'll see all of your experiments gone up in smoke. So, you know, your choice, Doc. I hope you come down here to say hello.
Thank you for the invitation.
What he fails to realise is that the Doc has all of his moss in his lab. In the med bay.
In his quarters.
In his quarters.
He's got a separate bed set up for it.
a bed of moss.
However, we did establish that the mycelial spores are being kept in a secure area of the Arboretum.
Yep.
So, with that in mind, does anybody have something they want to do now?
Have we started a new turn, or...?
No, but... actually, that's a good point. Bertram's already gone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm not trying to do anything.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie do.
Who's left to go?
Who's
Claude's
left? Let
not
me
been, has
see.
he?
Claude hasn't gone. And neither has Mono in order to set up a sensor. You know, scan for weakness.
Is it just us to finish now? This turn?
Nova still has yet to go as well.
Yeah, I meant
Stevens, but
player crew. So it's just the player. It's the player crew left.
Could just be
before
the player
enemies have
crew
had
now,
their
yeah.
actions. Yeah. Okay.
I'm imagining Bertram like running down there, kicking the disruptor out of the hand, and just smothering him with a handful of moss.
Yeah.
Only dreams.
This is the energy absorbing moss. Die.
Forcing it down his throat. It's just like
If it works.
hands over his mouth.
I feel like Nova would probably try and help fix the MupwI shields while it runs its attack run.
yeah. Okay. Good idea. So, Ori had already fixed some of the shields and did a blisteringly good job at it. But you have got... Sorry, Nova has got focus on shields, so this should work
You're welcome.
very well. This is going to be another use of internal systems. Once again, doing regenerate shields. So from Nova, this is going to be control and engineering. Who hasn't gone in a bit? Webby, can you be the MupwI for me? Actually, you've been fighting lots, actually. You've just rolled a lot.
Yeah. It's fine.
Who hasn't rolled in a bit? Navis!
Uh-oh.
Do you want to pass the? Do you want to pass it on to somebody else, or are you all right to roll further?
I'm alright to roll. What am I rolling?
What were you saying there, Webby?
I said get your Legion of Honor ready.
Yeah. All right then. So for Nova, it's control and engineering difficulty 1. For the MupwI, it's structure and engineering. MupwI gives another success. MupwI is rolling very well tonight.
Nice.
Very nice.
I think regardless, I'm going to throw that in anyway to gain the momentum.
Cool.
If I don't get a configuration.
Alrighty. Nice. 2, which means 3, which means... What is your momentum on at the moment? Your momentum's all the way down to 1, which means you could throw that extra 2 momentum back into the momentum pool.
Yeah, that was going to be the plan.
Okay, but you've also generated 2 bonus momentum specifically for this task, so you regenerated 2, 4, 6 shields on the MupwI. Very nice.
This is what happens when all the support crew aren't on board the Navis.
Do better.
We are. Our ships are fine. How's the Navis going?
Yeah, your ships aren't being boarded.
That's because we have shields.
I blame my engineering and XO for not having a decent shield team.
Right, so something that probably needs
firing is.
But I've got a really good engineering team. They're currently on the MupwI.
Take all the decent engineers on the MupwI.
Well, I suppose there could be one action then that we could take to help.
Yeah?
We've established that hellos are drones, which implies that there could be more than one.
Well,
So a secondary unit hello action and restore shields to
technically,
Navis.
Unit Hello is the trio of Tilical computer cores on the Navis. It's just that what we tend to associate with Unit Hello is actually just the remote unit. So, yes, technically Unit Hello itself is still very much on the Navis. The trouble is that Captain Andrews has been, shall we say, somewhat vehement in the fact that Unit Hello should not under any circumstances be allowed access to any of the ship's systems. So,
Very limited.
this comes down to whether or not Unit Hello thinks that the timing is right to try and break that protocol lock and forcefully take over systems so that it can help. And this brings me...
Andrew's got kicking the doors in and it's going and bang.
And this brings me to an interesting development as far as Unit Hello is concerned. So I'm going to take everybody briefly to Deck 4, the science labs. Now, the remainder of Lieutenant Orai's science team are in the science labs. So Lieutenant Fiesal, or Ensign Fiesal rather, is she Lieutenant? Yeah, Ensign Fiesal, Ensign Jenny Eric, and the Lieutenant, the actual Bravo that you forget exists, Lieutenant Bravo of Science.
Apparently I don't own a token here as well.
Yeah, I thought it was astrometrics, not science.
You have...
Yeah.
There's one for security,
Yeah.
one for medical,
Engineering.
one
Yeah.
for engineering,
Yeah.
one for stellar cartography, one for overall science. 5.
No, there's
just-
Nurse Bravo.
I said medical.
Security, engineering, medical. Oh, yeah. It's actually.
The actual Bravo that you actually forget is still there.
I always think that Nurse Bravo is female as well. I can't help it. My brain is programmed. I just like.
It's also how every other one is gradually becoming Lieutenant Commander, and this one's just sitting there going, "Guys, can you let me out the door?"
Now, at this point, the science team are rather alarmed as they hear... you can all see this map, yeah?
Nope.
No?
Apparently I don't own a token on it, so I just got black.
Okay.
Oh, as soon as I just clicked off, I lost all the tokens, but I could
Yeah,
see.
same here.
Okay. Doodly-doodly-doodly-doodly-doo. Where are we? We are Deck 4.
Jenny is community owned.
Yes. I was hoping it would be through Jenny. But let's
Everyone's had a ride according to Gene.
Is that any better?
Yep.
Excellent.
Much better.
So, yes, a small group of Orion boarders arrives on Deck 4 and starts casting around. At which point they dive into one of the labs. And one of their number, who appears to have this kind of weird reptilian skin that seems to shift colours according to maybe his mood, starts trying to access the computer core.
I remember those
The
things.
others are now watching over and have spotted the fact that they've been spotted by the science team. However, on a loaded into a computer core nearby is the actual 3 cores of Unit Hello. So, where is he? Where is he?
This unit has detected unauthorized access to computer systems. Analyzing. The intruders are apparently attempting to access our information on the Tilical. This unit thinks it should take action.
What action would you like Unit Hello to take?
Violent.
How would you like Unit Hello to take violent action?
Play a sound gun down.
What about those exploding consoles? They're constantly exploding.
Yeah, it just has to.
Ah.
Rose
Reroute
up
power through a console, right?
I
Or
was
just-
thinking.
Just
Go on,
shut air
go on,
off
Alex.
into the deck. Yeah.
I was going to say shut off that air and activate the fire suppression unit.
Kill them with kindness. CO2 poisoning.
Go on, what do you think?
I kind of like the turn off.
Turn off everything in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have emotion, so abrupt, quickest route to terminate the threat.
I'm
How to
hoping
solve
that it
this
still
problem.
has an identity of preservation of life, you know.
Nope. Never gave it one.
So
I
technically,
like the way
Unit
you think
Hello's
it- yeah,
values
you
are exploration yields discovery, even the discovery of self, and purpose derives meaning, and vice versa.
Oh god, so yeah, it's like what happens if we inject CO2 into the air? It's discovery!
This is the fastest action I can take to solve the problem.
Oh, why don't we
So-
just inject it? It would just make the air 100% hydrogen and light a match. Science team watch as Deck
Oh, no,
4
you-
explode.
And I know it would be that point in time where the computer panel happens to just start sparking next to them.
So we have a couple of ideas here. We have route power through the console and blow up the console in front of them. Lock down the lab and incapacitate them somehow, either by turning off all life support or activating a fire suppression system. Anybody else with any ideas or inclinations?
Yeah, I don't think it would blow the console because that doesn't seem like a.
It's not
the
gonna
least.
get everybody.
Yeah, it's not going to get everyone. Yeah, it's the calculated. It is the least effective route forwards. Isolating them in there doesn't stop them gaining access, so it's incapacitate. So yeah, logically, it would go for the incapacitate as quickly as possible. So my vote would still be the CO2 van.
Okay.
Yeah. Lock doors, CO2 them.
Okay. Can I get? I mean, Sean, this is your baby. If you can access Unit Hello's character sheet.
Yeah.
Control and engineering. Let's see. Computer control systems is going to be a definite focus.
All it would need to do is just register on the computer simulated fire. So,
Yeah, exactly. So it's trying to fool the sensors and the internal sensors into thinking there's a fire. So it's basically going to be bypassing the security locks that are already on it in order to, but it's going to be a minor security lock. So it's going to be difficulty 2.
I'm thinking he's probably going to use his values of purpose derives meaning and vice versa, because this is
That's fine by
finding a
me.
new part of himself as he's launching himself into the ship.
All right then, roll. Oh, 3 momentum, which means a full pool. The door slams shut as all of a sudden the computer registers alert. Fire detected in computer lab 2. Fire detected in computer lab 2. At which point the Orion's in there going, look at the guy with the hacking device and go, what did you do? I didn't do anything! At which point the fire suppression system comes on and they all start coughing and gagging. And the science team on the opposite end, who can see through these walls, because these are like these are like see-through glass walls, and they're just the science team are now just watching as all of a sudden the whole area gets filled with like halon or something, and they all start gasping for air, and some of them start sliding down the window as they fall unconscious.
And on the computer screen behind him, it just says, "Please enter password to disable Viper's Attitude Protocol."
This unit believes it is experiencing satisfaction.
That's a good thing.
Nice. Tasteful violence.
Yeah, you know, I like the last mission where we're like, oh yeah, let's let sentient Tilical on board. It's alright, it's fine, we've already got one.
This is a sick
We
one.
were all in favour of the plan.
Wow, that was awesome. Okay, right, so now we're going to finally get down to some actual shoot-bang fire. So the first thing we're going to do is, Mike, take control.
Ready to deal with these people. He's just going to see them like dead on the floor. Like, oh.
Mike, please take control of Lieutenant Mono so that we can do a control and science check to scan for weaknesses in the enemy. Now, this does bring me to, which ship are you going to be shooting at? A bird of prey or the Orion Blackguard at your rear? Which is the bigger threat, do you think? The gathering of birds of prey, or the Blackguard ship, the single Blackguard ship at your back?
Personally, I think the Blackguard, because that's where Empress, I'm so amazing, look at me, is. So if we take her shields down, she's going to panic.
Okay, so you want to go for the Blackguard.
If we eliminate the head, the rest of them might fall back. But
So-
I say I'm up to everyone else's opinion as well.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah, but then we have to sort of one-shot kill it, I think. Otherwise,
Good point.
we're gonna have issues.
She's in point blank, so...
She is in close range.
Phases.
The ship is in close range. So, we've so far got one for definitely attack the big ship, one for not sure. Anybody else got any thoughts?
The sound cannon?
Takes a round to charge, and then a round to fire.
Yeah, you need to hack into the system first before, but that's what Keshen can do.
You need something a bit more now. I mean, both ships are in close, so they can't avoid a full spread. Warheads, but
So, what are you thinking, Alex? Are you thinking the big ship or the birds of prey?
I think the Orions will run if they take enough of a beating. I think the
Do you agree
Klingons,
with
especially
Webby?
as these ones have an axe to grind, will probably stay longer.
Okay, so that's
I potentially think if you destroy the ones that are going to stay longer, they'll make the bugger off because she'll see she's losing the fight.
okay. Mike, you on board with that plan?
You know what? Could you repeat it?
So, the choices at the moment seem to be...
Sorry.
That's fine. The choices at the moment seem to be go for the big Orion ship or try and take out more of the birds of prey.
I say Big Orion. What did everybody else say?
So far, there's... Jan's not sure, and you would be on the others with taking out the bigger ship. They
What
might
the other
run.
ones said.
Well, I was on the Klingons, but fair enough.
Oh, you were on the Klingons, were you? Okay, so that's 2 apiece.
Yeah, as I said, basically, because the Klingons are going to hang around longer, but the Orions are going to be more to flight if they think it's going against them.
So you think take out the ones who are going to put up the most fight?
Yes.
Okay, so that's even Steven so far. Davis, what was your thought?
hit them with a pointy end?
So the big ship or the Klingon ships?
If we take the big one out, then that might get rid of the Orions that are attacking the MupwI and might give us more options.
I think the MupwI is probably going to carry on attacking the Orions.
Oh yeah, but if the Orions run away, the MupwI's possibly going to start attacking the Klingon ships that'll might distract the birds of prey.
Who hasn't put their oar in? Gareth, what's your thought? I'm a doctor, not a tactician.
Yeah. Problem is, if I say that, I then have to, I believe, spend one of my determination just to be able to say that. Well, Bertram's not here in the conversation.
Well, it's more what Gareth thinks. What's the
I think we
threat?
need to pull something out of our butt soon because we're currently surrounded by a lot of ships and with no shields. So I think, basically we have to go all out on this.
So the best target to take all out on would be?
I believe Webby was saying about trying to take out the leader to demoralise and disorganise the
seems
attack.
the majority in that case are going with take out the leader's ships to make them run.
Yeah.
All right then. So, if Micah, if I can get you to get Lieutenant Mono to give me a control and science check, difficulty 1, I think. Let me make absolutely certain.
All right.
Sensors for scanning for weakness is difficulty 1. Yes. Gareth, can you be the ship? Sensors and security for the ship, please. Lieutenant Mono, if you don't know, here is by here.
Oh, that's easy.
Yep.
Alright, science and control, you said?
Yes, please.
Alright. Any focuses he can use? Okay.
Does he have sensors or anything like that?
Yeah, sensor operation.
Excellent, then you do have a focus.
Woohoo! Come on, buddy, you got this.
He very much does. And anything the Navis adds is extra.
I promoted him to science chief.
You're the science chief, though, so...
He's retiring, is what he
Or
meant.
I can shift.
Sexy.
I'm going to the romance department.
So you want to be the ship gigolo, gotcha.
That's right. Big Firefly.
We can find a use for Ori somewhere else. He doesn't want to be chief science engineer. He doesn't want to be chief of science anymore. We'll find something for him. He's alright.
I'm mine. I like science.
Cool. Right, now we just need, basically, it's down to Claude. Claude say shoot. So let me see, the difficulty is usually 3 with torpedoes, but that's reduced down by 1 because of attack pattern. You've also still got the thing of easy to hit enemy, which means it's down to 1. But because of the electromagnetic eddies playing havoc with your sensors, it's back up to 2. So, you do have piercing 2 on it, so does somebody else want to be Claude, or shall we let Webby fangirl?
Fangirl.
Let's let Webby fangirl.
Yay! I'll take that.
And can I get Jan to be the Navis, please? Now, the question is, are you using the quantum torpedoes for the phaser array?
What's everyone feeling?
What's most likely to kill them?
Because
Yeah.
If you
You're
use
playing
phaser array,
Does he know how to fire phase?
if you use the phaser array, you run the very good chance of doing multiple shots, meaning multiple hits. If you do the quantum torpedoes, you will do one single, probably large amount of damage in one go. So,
Or we
there's
use the
that.
experimental phasers and just punch straight through the shields in one hit and blow up the phaser arrays.
Or Lord spends 2 momentum and takes 2 actions and fires both.
there's that. Phasers to bring down the shields.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean. What was it?
I'm fine with
To
that.
sound very close.
I'm fine with that. I will spend my determination so that he can use my
use determination as
on his first
well.
roll, and then use his determination on the second roll.
Okay, going all out.
So
Nice.
we want phasers first to rip the shields apart, and then
torpedoes. Yeah.
to-
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So is Navis weapons and security?
Yes, please. Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. I'm showing my age there. Yeah, you get it back. Nicely done. Whoa, that was close. Oh, dear me. It was all down to Claude.
Control and security, starship weapons, both westerns.
Actually, it just occurred to me we need to roll a challenge dice as well because phasers will take power. No, they won't.
I am Claude.
Hello there.
I got it.
Has something left.
I've got it. He's mine.
Hey, but that's got to be your last one by now because I've
It
seen
is
you
my
use it
last
before.
one, Yep.
3 successes, which was 1 over what was needed for the phaser array. So, Jan, if you've still got the ship open,
Yep.
phaser array, pardon me, and an extra challenge dice for its weaponry.
Phasers. And 1 extra.
Yep, so roll phaser array damage first and 1 extra afterward. Oh no! Oh no, sorry. I thought they were all blanks, but no, they're not. They're seriously not blanks. And 1 effective 1 is that. Okay, excelente. So So, we have got a total of 9 against theirs, but we minus 2 off of that, which means it's actually 6. Which means there's a breach. But, because you got effects and it's a phaser array, you do a second hit. Half of 9 is going to be 4, plus an extra 4 is another 8, so it's back up to 8 rather than... Oof, blimey. So... 8 is 5, which knocks the shields down again and gives them an extra breach. So, you didn't completely take the shields down, but multiple phaser hits have knocked their shields way the hell down. But the sheer strength of the shots that you piled in there have caused breaches on some of their systems. So that was a very timely shot.
Spend the 2 momentum.
Spend the 2 momentum.
Go on, Claw. Do it.
Ort
Hello,
fires
bodies,
again.
one.
So once again, Jan, if you could be the Navis since you got it open. This time it doesn't take power to launch the torpedoes. Damn. Oh my. 4, 5, 6 successes. You need 3. You've got 3 over and above what was needed, so it's basically roll quantum torpedoes and roll 3 extra dice.
Oh, where's the... Okay.
I thought that you had the extra momentum, put it straight into damage.
And 3 extra.
Yes, please. Boom, bam! 2 extra successes, so 9 in total with 3 effects for quantum torpedoes. That means vicious.
Vicious, more damage.
And high. Let's not forget high yield. Let me just remember what high yield does. I think that does extra breaches. Yes, indeed. If an attack inflicts 1 or more breaches, it inflicts an additional breach. Right, cool. So, what we got there was 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. That's 2, is 3, is 9. So 1, 2, 3, leaving 6.
Boom.
And an extra one is indeed a tremendous explosion goes off as the quantum torpedo launcher just launches a rack of them, one after the other. Boom, 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 and they streak out. One takes down the final lot of the shields, the other two streak in and completely obliterate the Blackguard. Nice. Very, very nice. So that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so that ship is dead.
The video, the sensor footage of the ship being blown up across all monitors on the Navis.
So, unless you want Stevens or Keshen to do anything particular, we can roll that on to the next round.
With Keshen being comms, could we try a bluff now that we've just seen that explode? Because we've got the comms scramble, so could we put out an all-waves broadcast of abort mission, but try and deep fake it into her voice, because we've obviously heard it before?
You can try, if that's what everybody else wants to try. I hear no objections.
I'm just thinking it might disrupt it because they can't really talk to each other with the comms, so if some of them do pick it up, it's they might follow.
And it makes sense, as you quite rightly point out, because you now just destroyed the ship, so fall back or a retreat or, whatever. Alright, so this is gonna be... Now, is there an actual thing for this? Comms. Respond to hail, intercept signal jamming. This is essentially that kind of thing, but you're altering it to... not signal jam, but... Control and engineering. Okie dokie. Then it shall be control and engineering for Lieutenant Junior Grade Keshen, who hasn't gone in a while.
There you go, Keshen. Use it wisely.
Ah, Keshen gets a determination. I don't know, Sean, that was your idea. You may as well do it since nobody else is owning up. Nobody else wants to take the hat of blame.
So he's got encryption and decryption.
Yep.
Seems appropriate.
Plus, you'll have a determination in there because Andrews threw one in.
Plus a determination. Awesome. So let's see how Lord Tufty does this.
Lord Tufty. Don't give him ideas. He's already got a big head.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so... Let me pile that on then. Big signal. Alright, so that pretty much brings us to... Now, Stevens still technically hasn't... No, she did, didn't she? She repaired something. So she has gone.
She repaired.
So everybody's gone. Oh, nice! Right, so just for... Well, that Hulk is just going to hover there for now. So yes, out across the communication waves, there's a there's a broadcast of basically, let's all get out of here, kind of thing. Keshen did his best to disguise the voice in order to use an AI program to try and disguise the fact that it was her. Let's see. How will they respond to that? They've got compromised systems. They are going on. So you've dealt me a tricky one here.
Knowing that, Ryan's our message is probably something like, your Empress demands that you stay and fight to the death.
I don't know. I think it makes her lose face, which is bad enough for her as well. So.
Defend me! I'm getting away!
Defend my retreat.
Defend my tactical draw because I am so omnipotent and powerful I cannot be defeated by one ship.
Die for my honour, so I can live.
Oh, we missed an action as well last time. The MupwI didn't shoot anything.
That's a good point. The MupwI didn't shoot anything because it got its turn. Actually, no, he did. He obliterated the raider, didn't he?
That was turn 1.
That was turn 1.
That means I haven't actually shot it, yeah.
Means I haven't actually shot anything. Okay, so let's assume they did. MupwI, you wanted them to take on the Orion Raiders, didn't you?
Yes.
So they divert and go that way, which means they stay within close this time, which means that this time they get to open up with their disruptor cannons rather than the disruptors, which means they will do... Where's the MupwI? Close range they do... God damn. That's a lot. That's a lot of a lot. So, yeah, 3, 16... Take that. 13, 10, 11, 12, 13... Geez, whoop, kaboom! Another one goes.
They'll send a message saying, see, that's what happens when you don't listen to that let's get out of here.
Captain Akul, unit hello! Give them more sass! Insult their honor! Maybe even insult their motherhood!
Activating SAS.ini as follows. Your mother smelt of elderberries, and your father was a fake Vulcan.
No, fake Romulan. We like Romulans. It's the Vulcans we don't like.
I know, but it's a bad quote.
Looks as one!
Meanwhile, on the civilian ship...
Your mother was a toaster and your father was an icon.
It's quantity over quality, I see. That's how he wants to play.
There you go, Etude. Pick up 4.
Alright, so, there's still stuff going on the bridge, of course, and there are boarding parties going on the Navis. The Navis' shields are down. But before we leap into your turn, that's when we also get a computer alert from Lieutenant Monod. Captain, I've got another ship broadcasting communication on Y-band frequencies. I can pinpoint it. Give me just 1 second. And he redirects the external sensors to show an even bigger ship.
This is getting annoying.
As a transmission comes over the comms.
We just, general go for channel is overcompensating much.
Well, far be it from me to take away this effort that you've been putting out, but they know better than to flee from a battle that I have yet to retreat from. But I give you full points for trying. As such, I will give you what you want. I will withdraw for the time being. I don't want to get my lovely new ship all scratched and dinged like yours is currently being. Nevertheless... Ah yes, it seems I have what I wanted, so... I will leave you with this much. That place you were going to, what was the name of it again? Array 3-5. You might want to consider getting there really quickly. I may have left something there that you might want to disarm before it goes off. Assuming, of course, you can shake all of these, and you may have to leave the cargo flotilla behind. Whatever will our heroes do? Well, I'm afraid I'm not going to stick around to find out, but this has been fun. The Klingons are probably going to want to fight until the bitter end, so I'm going to let them do that. In the meantime, have fun, guys. Until we meet again. Oh, and always remember, praise the Taan Empire. And she signs off. At which point that larger ship, that much larger ship, starts to make moves to break from the battle and move on.
Come out. Claw, get to the Samson. Have fun. Take her out in one, I believe.
Captain, we have the problem of borders blocking the...
Yeah, that's a good point.
You call them what? You call them hostages.
I like that. It's all a matter of perspective.
I suppose those borders probably saw on the view screens as we blew up the other ship.
So they know they're not getting out of here. So who wants to go first out of you lot?
You next time, which means that she thinks we're going to win this battle anyway, so we can kind of use that and say, even your Empress thinks we're going to win. Is it worth the fight?
Alright, well, how do you want to do this? Who wants to go first? Do you want to... actually, that's a good point. Dr. Bertram has a date. Dr. Bertram has an appointment.
Hasn't even bought me dinner yet.
Does Bertram want to respond to the... sorry, I keep interrupting people.
It's like, all I'm hearing is someone's volunteered for human trials.
Bertram just gets down into the hydroponics, and there's just candles and romantic music. He's got the Love War as playing very wide.
Kind of enigma.
Yeah. Honestly, Bertram's first thing would be to detect, ask the computer to detect if there are any life signs in the Arboretum, and then filter them out to see are there any non-Orion life signs in there.
One confirmed life sign, Orion. Reports the main computer.
Okie dokie. Do we have the ability to control life support in the Arboretum?
Technically.
That's the CO2 as too, yes.
Okie dokie. I would like to take a dose of Hyrolichin, which is the anti-radiation thing. That's what I don't. We can't. Are we able to basically flood the Arboretum with radiation?
You horrible man.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure that's along the things he's expected. He's expected me to use plant-based shit.
Read the life support, you can make it do what you want.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is stop filtering out gamma rays.
Though, for those who can't actually hear what Webby's saying, basically reversing the life support system.
It's only bad.
Yeah. But basically, my plan is to go in there, start having the radiation in, which should start killing the plants first. I'd imagine he's probably got some sort of protections against that, even if it's just teleporting out. If it isn't, I also want to take with me, if I can, a small canister of anesphysine, which I believe is a fast-acting gaseous anesthetic.
Okay. So you've got those things.
Yep. Then I will start making my way to the Arboretum. I will ask Nurse Bravo to update the captain that I'm going into a chat by someone who seems to have a personal interest with me. Assume that I've been captured or killed until I say otherwise.
Great. Captain's reply is thanks for the update, but nurse a bit busy.
So thanks for the update, I'm just caving in this guy's skull.
Yeah.
Please hold. The person you're talking to is currently in combat on the bridge and will answer your communication momentarily.
In between blows.
So, when Dr. Bertram enters into the Arboretum, He finds it pretty much as he left it, except for the addition of several devices scattered around that have been placed pretty much all around the Arboretum, all of them with flashing lights. And there's Vess himself, just as you remember him. And this time he's wearing what appears to be some kind of like tactical vest. But whereas before he had like the sword icon tattoo to show his allegiance, it's now been physically burned into his face. And he's there standing with a device in his hand that he's got his thumb depressed on it. Doc, so good of you to meet with me. You took your sweet time. I was beginning to... Excuse me. I was beginning to think that you weren't coming.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Cute. Cute. I like it. Well, it's quite simple, Doc. I just need you to come over here to me.
Alright. Because...
I want you to kneel. Right in front of me. Oh, and if you think of trying anything, this, and he holds up the device in his hand, is a dead man's switch. So the moment I go unconscious, or slack, or anything like that, he looks around at the plants. Well, boom. So.
Right, so let me get this straight. I'm to go over there and kneel you so that you can punish me in whatever way for our last encounter, or you'll destroy the plants.
Punish? No. Humiliate.
Okay. Computer, begin flooding this arboretum with radiation.
Acknowledged. Oh.
Okay. Don't worry, the plants will die first.
Yeah. Okay.
Altar, you really need to understand. My hobbies, my life, yes, is in my work, but I'm not some sort of plant, moss, science-based maniac who sees science above everything else. Everything I do is in the service of the Federation. And if you want to try and twist that to harm the Federation through whatever it is you intend to do to me, at the end of the day, I've still got all my knowledge up here. It doesn't really hurt me to start again with the knowledge and experience that I've got.
He's starting to visibly hold back the retching as he's obviously starting to succumb to the higher levels of radiation. His nose is starting to bleed, as are his eyes.
Seriously, old dog, you didn't actually plan for this? I assumed you'd taken some sort of radiation drug. You should have studied me before. Are you honestly saying that you're dumb enough not to have actually planned for this incredibly obvious first strike?
What I'm saying is, you have no idea what she'd do to me if I didn't do this. So, I suppose if I've got anything left to say, it's Hail the Taan! And he lets go of the device.
Yep.
Wow. Kaboom!
Sorry, what was that? That's it?
Kaboom!
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's going to be a hull breach.
Dr. Bertram can spend, I think, momentum to dive basically out the door. Let me check that. There is something about starship combat. I want actual combat. Where is the thing for diving out of the way? Avoiding damage. No, that's damage injury recovery. Avoiding an injury. Okay. Basically, everything goes up in an explosion, inflicting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stress to everything in the area, including Dr. Bertram. unless you want to spend a determination to basically evade it somehow. Leaping out the door dramatically just as the explosion engulfs up the Arboretum.
I'll do that then.
Cool beans. So Vess, obviously, and the way that the bombs are set, it immolates everything. But it also, as Bertram heroically, dramatically dives, maybe behind this control console here, to shield himself from the majority of the blast as well as the radiation leakage that's now happened. But the radiation becomes a lot less because basically Ulvar's bombs obliterated the entirety of the inside of this place, including the life support system to flood the place with radiation. So the Arboretum is now a wreck.
Yeah.
But as a result, when Bertram kind of pops his head up over all the wreckage and has a look, he notices that the secure door that held back the area for the mycelial spores has now been blown open, and one of the containers is gone. Now, there's no way, yes, the Navis's shields were down.
Yeah.
But Vess himself was here, so where did it go? That much is not obvious at this present moment in time. However, yes, the act of pure spite as it stands, but Bertram thought ahead. Well done, Bertram.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't telling a lie. Alder completely misinterpreted how invested he was in the actual plans compared to the aims of the work. At the end of the day...
What was that, sorry, Webby?
We all know he's going to cry himself to sleep tonight.
Well, Bertram being a psychologist... Bertram having a focus in psychology now kind of understands, and this kind of leans into Bertram's confidence of going into this situation. As far as Vess is concerned, Vess is something of a sociopath, or at the very least, a killer. And so the only values he have are the things he possesses.
Yeah.
And so since he doesn't know how to be anything else, he obviously imprinted that desire on Bertram as well, thinking this is how people act. They collect things, they have things, and if you take the things away from them, you injure them somehow.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't factor in that Bertram has, got a long view to all of this.
Yeah.
So this basically speaks to, Bertram outthought the thug.
I kind of went with the old adage of evil can't understand good.
Exactly. Which I think paid off very well there, so woot. So,
thank you.
Bertram having acted now, you guys are down to 4 momentum in your pool. Do you want to spend momentum to keep the initiative, or shall we just see what the enemies do now? I will go with you not wanting to seize the initiative. Okay, cool. So, let me see. That's dead. The Empress throne is moving away. The raiders have lost 2/3 of their ships. I am going to have the raider with its compromised systems is going to turn tail and run. Away she goes. Oops, daisy, that was putting in new text. I wanted to move the old one. So basically they move 1, 2, and looking to engage their warp engines as soon as their sister ship goes. So, that's them moved. Who of you lot wants to move now? Or to take their actions, rather, I should say. I'm going to assume that the cargo hauler regained at least 2 of its shields. So, do folks on the MupwI want to go? Do folks in the flotilla want to go? Or do folks on the Navis want to maybe beat up some borders, or what? Now you have just been told that there's something on the array, going to as well. Bear in mind.
Personally, I would say take the freighters to warp to get there. Because the freighters can only travel at warp 6, the Navis and the MupwI can go faster so they can catch up.
So, break from the battle, basically. So, get the cargo haulers to go first, then follow with maybe the MupwI and then the Navis, or the Navis first because it's got no shields. How would you want to do this?
That's just my idea anyway, so if other people got ideas.
Okay. Are people in agreement? Do people have a different plan?
I think as the priority is the freighters that need to be put safe. So if they can go to warp, then yeah, I think that's...
Right, I'm not hearing anybody else with any other ideas, so...
Surprisingly enough, I'm on mute and it doesn't work. Yeah, the freighters not being here frees up the MupwI and the Navis to be a bit more flexible about where they are and what they're doing.
Cool.
So if
All right,
everyone else is distracted, now might be a really good time for us to get out of here. But
I will also
we are
note-
going to have to track
Go on.
to that one that's not got a warp core anymore.
Yeah, but that one's being tracted by its neighbour, so they can still keep the tractor beam on them and rank them away. I will hesitate to note, I won't hesitate actually, I will obviously note, the Navis currently has its shields down, which means just before the cargo haulers go to warp, those of you who are from the Navis, the Jude, Edwards, Vibers, Bravo, can beam onto the Navis. Those of you who are on the MupwI, as if you wanted to beam back onto the Navis.
I mean, they do need help.
That does look like they need help over there, and it sounds like they really need their transporter chief back. You know, someone who can just beam all these Orions off the ship.
So are we thinking...
Orion's the hostages.
So, Alex, what do you think? Do we leave Bravo here to communicate with the array if we don't catch up?
Someone at least needs to go over, potentially help some deal with some of the damages.
No, I'm saying, out the four of us, do we want to send 3 of us back over and leave Bravo here to coordinate at the upper end if the Navis doesn't catch up?
That's reasonable.
Okay.
Because sending them a security person who can defuse a bomb,
So,
well, we're telling them there might be a bomb, might be a good plan.
quickly running to the cargo haulers transporter alcove, I suppose, as the chief of the facility says, you know, you've got only a short amount of time for us to beam you over before we head into warp. So Bravo says good luck. In which case,
Oh, has he not heard of Mr. Spock's high-speed beaming calculation? Sorry, Mr. Scotty's.
On a civilian
Transport
bit
beaming?
of kit that's held together with duct tape and prayer, whatever string I had in my pocket. Nah, I'm good.
It's Watfield beaming, isn't it? I think I can't remember.
all right. So the entire flotilla then
What
on
happens if
your
you get
action.
that wrong? You're inside the hull if you're
That's
looking,
fine.
or the warp core if you're not.
So let's count that as Latude's go then, that the freighter lowers its shields just fast enough for Latude to initiate transport so that everybody who's going is transported over to the Navis, and then the cargo flotilla engages its warp engines and off they speed to array 3-5. So Bravo, keep it kind of off to the side by here, is still on one of the on the lead cargo hauler, so you've got him to deal with whatever's over that way. Cool. So that's you guys. Dune. Now it's them again. What are we gonna do? Let's go back over to the MupwI as Once again, the Kuch destroyers engage. Whoops-a-daisy. Nope, I got it. Doing 14, doing 11. Which means this time the MupwI loses its shields to this massive attack of these 5 ships all combining their firepower, and there is an alarm klaxon starts to sound and steam starts to vent onto the MupwI bridge as the MupwI suffers a breach.
Oh hell no!
So if somebody from the MupwI lot wants to go now, you can do.
Fix it, hello.
Hello is currently occupied being the main computer.
Well, crud.
However, you have Stevens and Nova and Ori who can all help with such things, so...
Let's help.
What would you like to do?
We fix the shield? Is it too late?
Sure. I mean, Nova has focus on shields.
Oh, good. Maybe she should lead.
Yeah, so Ori can help, definitely. So let's activate Nova and Ori. So shields, as we recall, is... Actually, it turns out we don't recall. Internal systems, regenerate shields. So control and engineering from both Nova and Ori. Ori rolls 1 dice. Nova rolls 2. And if we can get... Yan, be the MupwI. MupwI needs to roll structure engineering, please.
Structure engineering.
Nice. Nice. And Nova, please.
Feel like we need to go wild. Go on,
Hey. Double the discipline.
Throw a
Okay.
Starcross in and...
We've done the impossible, and that makes us mighty. All right, throwing in determination. So knock off a point of determination. Nicely done. 8 and 8. Wow. Do is 4 successes.
And both of those 8 are another success.
So that's 6, 7, 8 successes in total. Wow! How? So you definitely get 2. So 6 is 2, and an extra 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The shields are down. The shields go right back on up.
Only the Navis had great people like us.
Oh wait.
Oh wait. Where's our shield specialist? Oh, on the MupwI. No, what's the shields on the MupwI are up?
It's our opportunity to defect.
It was time.
So, yes, Captain Akul turns around to his operations officer. Trust me, you fool! Look at that! They do it twice as good as you do! 3 times! I ought to replace you all with them!
It's true, you should.
Just because you're going to get passed around the crew after this.
Hey.
Hey, whereas that may be true...
lifestyle.
Alright, cool. So, fewer enemies to deal with. So, that's moving. The Empress throne is going to walk away. A communication message is broadcast to everybody, but only in text. It reads Toodaloo. Which means it's up to one of you guys to go next again. So, we've got the Navis without any shields, and next up is definitely going to be the Klingons, so...
Yeah. Go on, Bravo, do better. In fact, I will probably spend my last determination.
Cool beans.
Do better.
So we look into our chief engineer here, I take it. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Sounds
It-
like
it's
a
not so
plan.
shield.
He doesn't have shields.
It's not a success, it's only 5
Oh, Webby is really quiet.
Hang on.
Hanging on.
Any better?
Ish. Not by much, though.
Hang on.
Nevertheless, you are looking to, what, regenerate shields?
Any better?
Is that any better to anyone
A
else?
little bit.
Did you say bottle of water?
Bottle of water?
That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Do.
So, are we regenerating the Navis's shields with the chief engineer?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
like a
So-
good plan.
This is going to be control and engineering with a difficulty of 2, with a complication range of 2 as well. But this is also assisted by the ship's structure and engineering. So if we can have an Alex join in as the Navis,
Structural and engineering.
please.
Navis.
And Davis, if you can be the chief engineer.
Yep.
Now, I've just remembered that the chief has got the engineering team advantage, which means the difficulty comes back down to 1.
Oh, bang on.
Okay, so that's 5 over what he's needed. So that's shields. He doesn't have anything to do with shields, does he? As far as talents go, it's all power for him, isn't it? But nevertheless, that's 2 for succeeding, and then for the extra 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shields now back over, like say, about 60%. Nice. And this is where your shields go back down again, because unless you're going to use the momentum to seize the initiative, it's the Klingon birds of prey next. Unless you do want to use your new momentum to seize the initiative.
I think Claude needs to hit that fire button again.
I do too.
Twice.
All the fire buttons.
So we're going to spend 2 momentum to seize the initiative. Alrighty.
Yep.
And we're going to activate Claude. Claude does have 1 determination left. You haven't given him any advantages insofar as attack patterns or stuff like that, but they're as close range as close can be, so... What are you going to do? Is it going to be phaser array or quantum torpedoes, or both? Again.
So everyone, do we want to spend it all again?
Considering the time, I'd say spend it all.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, spend it. Spend the 2 momentum to do both.
Okie dokies. Momentum gone. Alright then. You know the drill. Webby, you're Claude. Who hasn't rolled? Sean. Let's have you be the Navis. Weapons and security, please. And take a point of power off. In fact, hang on a second. Yes, take a point of power off as well when you do it. One success for the Navis. Nice. Now it's going to be control and security. Double 5 successes. Wowza! Okie dokie. From the Navis. From downtown! It's gonna be... that needed 2. You got 6, so that's 4 over and above. So, Sean, can you roll the damage for the phaser array and roll an extra 4 thereafter? Successes on that one. Yikes! And an extra, only 1 on that one. Okay, so all in all, that was 11. 11 minus 3 leaves us with 8, which means, oh my, that one's dead. 1 destroyed bird of prey. Now, interestingly enough, you got a phaser array does more than 1 shot, so the second shot can carry over to the next closest bird of prey, which does, what did I say it was? 10, 11. So that starts off with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 minus 3 leaves us with 6 and 1 breach. Okay, and now it's time for quantum torpedoes, apparently. See if you can obliterate another one. So, play those notes again. Same thing from the Navis, same thing from Claught.
Claught has no determination this time, though.
He does not.
We'll just have to do it with sheer Claughtness.
And he did.
Yeah, Claurisma.
This won't take any power because apparently the torpedoes are independent. I've got independent power, so that is exactly what was needed to hit with a torpedo. Therefore, Jan, roll the damage for quantum torpedoes.
Sure, don't you have it?
Beg your pardon?
Yeah, either or.
Oh, beg your pardon. Sean. Durr. Sorry, my mind was wandering. 6 and extra effects means 9. I think that is another 6 on the button. Another one destroyed. This one in a hail of quantum torpedo fire. As that one detonates. Okay. Cool, which means their ability to field damage is now greatly compromised. Okay, next is them. Have I gone already with the Kuch destroyers? I think I have, haven't I? Because you raise the shields, then I knock down the shields, and then you raise the shields after I knock down the shields. So, let's go with the birds of prey.
Pick it up again.
The birds of prey have lost 2, which means that goes down to 5 is 9, which means that they do come in once again for deck 15. They pommel your shields and they do hit another system. So let's see, because they've done enough damage after this time structure, so whoops-a-daisy. Everybody, give me the Star Trek shake! Thank you!
Star Trek shake.
One moment. Oh, phew, yes, no lethal damage to any of your supporting cast. So that's all of them. Right, time for you guys to go, at which point I will say the MupwI is going to be set to warp out next, unless the Navis wants to go first.
I think the Navis needs to go first. It's getting more beat up.
So does the Navis want to hit warp engines and get out of dodge?
It's up to the captain.
Well, Captain is currently in hand-to-hand, so you've got the call.
Alright.
Would you abandon the MupwI?
I'm loath to leave a fight.
The Vipers is on the ship, so he's second in command if the captain.
Yeah, but I'm not on the bridge yet.
Well, do better then.
Yeah, you should have beamed
I'm on the
directly
bridge.
there.
It's not my fault.
Get on the bridge and tell the captain to stop beating up the poor Orions.
The Texans are right on the floor, like.
Okay, I'm gonna go via transporter room 1 and we'll sort this
I'm
problem.
going like, stop, he's already dead.
Okay, so the Navis is not leaving as of yet, so the MupwI is going to elect to warp out in order to try and get to Array 3-5 as quickly as possible now that the convoy is off. So, Captain Nicole looks around at his guests. Alright, The convoy is gone, but they still need protection. The Navis is not leaving, so that means it's up to us. Strap yourselves in. Helm, take us to Array 35, maximum warp. And the MupwI walked out. Which
Hey,
means
the MupwI didn't have any problems leaving us behind.
he's got confidence in your abilities.
Cool, straight away to like leave them, abandon.
Yeah,
I know
screw
what you
those
did.
guys.
I want hello. Keep it for myself. Kill the Navis.
Now, with no other enemies to take on, the Kurk destroyers swing about and start looking at the Navis. They are at long range, however, so they cannot do much. Therefore, they are going to... They're just going to use their photon torpedo spread and actually start shooting at the Navis again, but they are quite far away. Long means 8. For the Navis, that means the torpedo spread loses a great deal of momentum due to the distance, and only one of them glances off of the shields, knocks it down, so they don't do all that much damage. Now it's your turn.
I think now that McCall's left us, as much as I'd like to continue this fight, and it's only 9-on-1 now, you know.
You know what they wouldn't expect? For us to leave the fight as well.
us to just sit there and go. Andrews just winds the window down, just leans out and goes, "Bring it!"
No, sent out an interceptor communication saying all the worthy and important enemies have fled, so we'll leave in to go deal with the array.
Captain's log, supplemental. The pathetic remnants of the fleet. We've decided to leave to let them think that they've done well.
Alright, so
Yeah.
I'm taking that to
Go
say
on.
that you're going into war.
Go on, come out.
I'll punch him.
We've got to leave after we get there first. Because they can only run at warp 9, can't they? So yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yay! Everyone who knows how to use a welder, do engineering.
We're gonna push this warp core faster.
So we're patching up as many holes in the hole as we can before we get there.
Bertram to Andrews, it's possible they may have made off with a canister of mycelial spores, just to let you know.
So not only are we beating the MupwI in the race, we also beat them in the number of enemies defeated.
Yeah, they ran away. They were 3-2 down. They ran off.
Okay.
All the MupwI should hear as it go on open comms as they're sort of like flying along at warp is 3-2. It just starts off like the Doppler effect, getting louder and louder, and as you just go past, go 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
No, there's better that we could do with that. Let's send them the Klingon battle song in tune.
No, let's send an ancient Earth song. I believe the lyrics go, "The Klingons and the Romulans pose no threat to us."
Alright.
Yeah, so what's happening with our boarders on the bridge? Are they still like having they're still trying to
So,
make
in
it
the
on
interests
gallantly?
of making this as quick a roundup as I can make it, obviously the boarders start eventually losing the fight. But as soon as Andrews, what you notice is as soon as you knock one down and he stops moving, a device on his belt activates, at which point it seems to... There's like this box attached to each of their belts, and they seem to contain what look like some kind of fluid canisters. And as soon as one of them keels over unconscious from either being hit in the face or being shot with a phaser, the little box beeps once, and the canister doesn't explode, so much as just kind of cracks and unleashes this this fluid inside of it, which starts melting the Orion. But not only does it start melting, it seems to build up the acidity the more it interacts with the Orion's body, at which point it starts to eat through the actual flooring. and all of the wiring and everything else underneath it. The Orions, as they start noticing they're losing the battle, they start then hammering down onto the capsules on their belts and start basically suiciding themselves in order to start dealing damage to the to anything they can in the near vicinity as they start melting into a pool of acidic goop.
Mr. Latude, get them off my ship.
We were going to say, get me a mop.
Unfortunately, they all seem to do it in a coordinated manner the moment they realize that they are on the losing side, and as such, some of them manage to make it down into engineering, some of them manage to make it down into the computer core, some of them manage to make it down into environmental control. Luckily, you guys were already on an alert footing, and you do have security in an alert setting on an Akira class at the very least. It's standard protocol to have all your at-risk areas have guards. So the Orions were all tied up with the security teams who were already in place protecting these systems. But then the Orions started suiciding themselves in order to start doing as much damage as they possibly can, which means computers suffered a breach, engineering suffered a further breach, as did structure as they start doing damage to the superstructure around them. Sensors, weapons, and communications remain untouched, but when the engines took damage from consoles and whatever being melted with acid, that was when the engineering section started to show significant signs of damage, and the engines start leaking power at a phenomenal rate, which means that as you're going at warp, if you're trying to beat the other ships there, more power is being bled out of the engines as these breaches need to be sealed. What's more, structural damage is now meaning that decks 15 and let me start again. Decks 18, 15, 14, 6 have all taken structural damage and therefore are going to be difficult to get past. The Navis has now taken...
We shut down the engines. We are in no fight, but we're in no position to continue. We've got to let the MupwI deal with it.
So, an amount of time is spent bringing the Navis to a stop. Those boarders who... well, basically all the boarders, as soon as they were... Yeah, no. Sure is nice not to have a fully functioning ship, cool, not a single breach. So, the Navis has come to a relative stop.
It's not a point.
The Navis has comes to a relative stop in order to start effecting repairs, and because you've now got your first officer and your chief engineer present and their engineering team, they can start effecting repairs so that the first thing that happens is they repair that breach so that it doesn't start leaking power. They can start to get underway within about an hour. But within that hour, as you're waiting, as even the bridge has got repair teams coming in trying to mop up the damage that was done, especially to this area over here. That's when Lieutenant Keshen notifies you that a message is coming in from the MupwI. It's text only, and it reads, Array 3-5 is gone. So,
well, we will relay that to Starbase, and we'll also let them know that there's a mole in flight control.
Yes, so it seems that Empress Lolani-Taan had not the last laugh exactly, but she managed to achieve something of what she looked to achieve. And she's got ships.
Well, she's got 5 less ships than she had.
True. But your
Where did I put
initial
those
assumption that she was in an
computer
Orion Raider proved false, and then when you thought she was in the Blackguard Dreadnought, that proved false as well. She's got an even bigger ship. So it looks like that she has been using these last 5 months since you last saw her to prepare. And even her followers now, even though you've known them as pirates, they all seem to have taken on a lot more of a fanatical bent. They are willing to suicide themselves in order to just do damage.
Can we take? Is there any kind of like organic matter left from the Orion?
They just turn to acid gloop, basically.
Isn't it unusual for them to be that fanatical?
You got a lot more self-preservation.
Yeah, it's more along the line of: is there some sort of influence mentally going on? That's why I want to see if we can get an organic sample to see if we can find if there's any traces of interference. It'd be better if they weren't, if their brain was intact.
I will redirect to something that happened to Dr. Bertram in his meeting with Uldar Vess, which was, he said, "Do you know what she'd do to me if I failed?"
Bertram should have actually answered him and said, "Nope, not a clue."
So, yes, we've once again proven that the Navis can really hold its own in a fight, but there are limits to what even the Navis can do.
Right, I want to petition a Sovereign class. Or a Saber class. You know, we're going to go up one from the Sovereign. From the Akira, sorry.
Wow.
Saber's not an up from the
No,
Akira?
Saber's really not an up, it's a smaller ship.
No, I can't remember which one it is. The Advanced Akira.
I know what you mean. I think it's the Sutherland class. I might be getting that wrong. But at this point, it's still an experimental ship. It hasn't come out in wide use yet. The Sovereign, on the other hand, is around.
Yeah.
You're going to abandon the Navis
for a better ship. Meanwhile, the MupwI very much enjoyed the chance to fight alongside the Navis. Was there something someone else was going to say there? Sorry, did I interrupt? Nope. Okay,
There's
cool.
going to be some epic post-battle drinking conversations with the crew from the MupwI.
Yes, indeed. The Navis is definitely looking to get a long period of time now in a starbase or a space dock, actually, what I was looking for. Because this is the second time now that she's taken some pretty severe damage. So it could have been worse, of course.
We're off the ship for one day, and you can't even keep the deck count consistent.
I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew's report, which I assume will be summarised something along the lines of the Lolani-Taan, or whatever her name is, or Empress as she calls herself, is styling herself to be a powerful villain with a new array of ships and paid-off allies, with a mole to get information, and having performed sabotage, she very almost destroyed a single ship.
Sadly, my mechanical hand is bruised after the multiple impacts hitting her gurneys.
She very almost failed to lose.
Well, nevertheless, that brings us to the end of this particular episode, so thanks everybody who tuned in for this somewhat more action-packed episode. This was very much more a combat episode. So yes, lots of shoot, bang, fire, and you've definitely seemed to have... the villains seem to be upping their ante somewhat. But nevertheless, yes, the array has been destroyed. Sorry, Mike, go on.
We get a Prometheus class instead.
Well, this becomes an interesting conversation to have now. How are we going to petition to upgrade the ship? Whilst this has been taken away for
it's one of
repair.
them. I do think that the actual ship, if in canon, the Akira has taken an absolute hammering. So there's going to be structural weaknesses.
And they were capitalizing on that.
Yeah.
It's very useful to cause more work for Gareth when he redoes the intro now, because it's no longer going to be the Navis.
No, not still. It could still be the Navis. It'd be the Navis NCC 6002A.
Okay.
We will have to see. This is a debate this will be quite an interesting one to have, actually. Do you now want to replace the Nakira class with a new one? But for the moment, that's all for this stream. So thank you everybody who hung around, and if you're watching this on YouTube and you liked it, then give us a like and maybe even a subscribe so that you know when I do drop another video. As a result of this being the end of an episode, we are going to return not next week but in 2 weeks' time. So let us first check that everybody is available. So that's going to be the 12th of March is our next meeting. Is everybody available?
Should be.
Yes.
I think so.
Excuse me. In that case, thank you very much everybody for attending. Thank you to my players once again for being so awesome. And yes, this is where we sign off. So I'll ask you all to do like the Vulcans do, live long and prosper, and remember to engage in infinite diversity in infinite combinations. This world is still a really incredibly chaotic place at the moment, so do make sure you look after yourselves and each other as we sally forward with the hope that things will get better, as they must do. So thank you very much everybody. We will see you when we see you next in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, hailing frequencies are now closed.